Hello and welcome to episode 34 of It's All Geek to Me, the pop culture chat show where three friends with varying degrees of nerd knowledge get together each week to have a chat about all things geek. My name's Rich Gittins, and joining me this week and every week, it's my buddy Chris Lumb. Come on out, Lummy.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you very much. Now, if I ask you what have you been doing this week, are you just going to reply with gigging?
I'll say gigging. We did some family gigs this week, family shows for kids.
Oh, some kid-friendly shows.
Yeah.
How did they go?
All right, they're good fun at kids ones because they come out with some right stuff. So
Of course they do.
Yeah,
of course, keep
they're
you on your
always-
toes.
yeah, and then you get them ones where you get them out to help you, and they just clam up and go. And you're like, you're not helping me, you little fucker.
Wowzers, Lummy. I mean, you've got to moderate that language, haven't you?
I wouldn't say that to them. Yeah, what the tip is, I'll give you a little tip. If you ever have to do kid shows, just look into their innocent eyes, and it'll stop you swearing.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I wonder where you were going to go with that, Lummy.
Well, you've got to not swear, obviously. So, because we do a lot of adult shows, it's very easy just to.
Of course,
slip
it's
into
to fall into bad habits.
Try doing the alphabet without swearing. Put it that way.
A, B, C, D,
No,
E,
I mean
F.
in sentences.
Yeah. A, fucking B, fucking C.
Give us a letter, a word begin with K that ain't swearing.
Karate.
There you go. Well done. You passed the test. I got stuck on
think
K.
of a swear word. I'm trying
No,
to
I know. It's the wrong letter, but for some reason it's the day I was like that, and then I thought, well, you're right. There's not really any swear words with K either, so it was just crap.
Speaking of karate, let's bring out Webby.
It is.
No, I don't
Alright.
know karate, but I know crazy.
Oh, how you doing, Crazy Gang Webby? You all good?
I'm all right. I do know the camera's there. I'm just doing.
I was
some
going to
of the
say,
recording.
Look at us when you
looking at my penis.
Webby,
Just
Webby,
looking,
my
that's
eyes
lovely.
are up here. Eyes are up here, you pervert. Up here.
What are you doing?
Look. I'm filling my juice up. I've got a juice thing with full.
You're miles away. You're bloody miles away.
Absolutely miles away.
You look like you could get him one of your.
Wait, I can think of way more words beginning with K than I can swear words beginning with K.
I know.
Well, we've already, exactly.
Yeah.
I made an error straight away. You look like you could fit in one of your TIE fighters at the back.
Totally, yeah.
I bet.
Go jump in one of them. Take
My
it
massive face.
Now, Webby,
Well done.
Webby,
Yes, loves.
you bought yourself a little bit of Lego this week, didn't you?
I bought myself well done for being an amazing present. I've had a really good month of just quitting a load of bad habits.
Oh, right,
Smoking,
because
I'm trying-
like work, my relationship.
No, I'm trying to
being a
exercise more. I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying not to die. I don't want to die so soon. So
It's a good
I
goal.
went to buy myself, I don't know, a t-shirt or a hat or something when I went out, and ended up walking away with the Ghostbusters XO1 Lego.
You went to go and buy yourself a t-shirt, came back with 180 quid's worth of Lego.
Yeah, it is actually 190 quid's worth, but that's not what I paid for it. It were in the
What
sale. I
did you-
couldn't believe it. They never have sales in the Lego shop, but if you go
How
to
can a Ghostbusters be in a sale now?
tell you why, because it don't. Okay, all right. Full disclosure: this thing is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I'm nowhere near. I'm about four and a, just
4 bricks in.
just under 4 bags worth. I had to stop building earlier on because I miscalculated how much time I had. Anyway, so it's like 2,400 pieces, right? And it isn't a deal breaker, but you'd think for that amount of money, they give you the frigging Ghostbusters with it. You know what I mean? The
On a little
minifigures.
stand like they do. Yeah, they do that as well.
Nothing, not a single
Oh.
figure with it. So
They
that's
don't
the
want to spoil it,
downside
do
of
they? They don't want to
I
spoil
can't
it for the film.
wait. Yeah, I can't wait to build this sucker and
Well, look,
do it
dude,
all
if
on
you
the
sit
go.
back in your chair again, you could probably fit in your XO1. So, you'd be able to get Robin to play with it. You'd be able to
riding my
drive
ass,
his dad around
Mum.
in his XO1.
telling me
So-
what to sit now.
Go on.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, very quickly, I did a bit
Go
of
on.
detective work. Right, I found something out. I don't know if anybody said this yet. I was looking, right. You know they've released this new line of figures for Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is spoiling everything. Right,
You're spoiling everything by telling
right.
me this shit.
There's the figures though of Venkman and stance and Ernie Hudson, Winston, Ernie Hudson. Anyway, we knew that anyway. We knew that was coming out. No spoilers there. It's been fucking publicised everywhere now, hasn't it? But on the backs of the cards, if you zoom in on the Amazon packaging, you can read the backs. And on Peter Venkman's, it said he's now a professor, not a doctor. So that's where he's up to. He's a professor at a university when the film starts.
So he'll be teaching some stupid class in ESP or some ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe. Right, that was my thought as well. It wasn't a very good start to the show from you, Webby. I'm going to say it's a D-, Webby. Eye contact, communication, eye contact, sitting far away.
You two chatty fuckers. I thought I've probably got 5 minutes here. I may as well fill my vape rather than do it halfway through the show. I knew you wouldn't introduce me for 10 minutes, but you did. So, yeah, that's what happens.
What's this here? We had. What if Lego turn up at the shop this week? Was tempted to go through the lot. Where do you work, Martin? What you said last week where you worked?
Yeah, what shop?
Can't remember where you said.
Yeah, you're right. I saw it in Smith's. I had a couple of sets. Smith's is good because they carry a bigger range than most shops. Nowhere near as much as the Lego shop, but they have got some exclusives. So there's a lot of deals to be found there quite regularly. So this thing that's supposed to be $189.99, the Ecto 1, was $134.99. Now I'm not a muppet. I can't turn that down. So I thought, I'm glad I didn't buy those T-shirts. Let's put them back. And let's just let's get a bit more. So I can't wait to when it's all done.
Funny thing was, it were 180 quid worth of T-shirts.
It was. I saved money.
No, I'm not going to get them. Speaking of toys,
go on.
I don't know if we're on the news yet, but I found this image.
Go on.
Here you go. Look what's coming out. Nobody will want this, any of us three, but there might be some Trekkies. Playmobil Star Trek Enterprise.
Wowzers!
All right. You know,
well, apparently,
I ain't got a photo of it, but there's. I saw the Playmobil.
Apparently, it's really expensive. It's really
it will be because it's a big ship and there's lots of figures. Playmobil's expensive anyway. I saw a little advert for the Playmobil A-Team truck, which is the next vehicle they're trying to get our money out of our pockets with. Right. I was never a massive A-Team guy, but I think it might look really nice next to that.
Hang on, that's coming out, is it?
Yeah, really soon.
Oh, is there a picture of it? No.
I saw a video of it. Because it were driving around on the screen. I'm like, what is this?
I'll have a Google. I'll try and find out.
We've just got all the little Playmobil characters jumped out of the van at the end.
Martin W.H. Smiths. There we go.
Well, welcome to the show again, Martin, and welcome everybody to the show. Hello, Cool Gang TM. How the heck are you? What we got? The Cool Gang have been voting for our favourite. We have been voting for our favourite Bill Murray films. You are right. And
should we come back to that later then?
We will do. Absolutely. But welcome to the Cool Gang. Welcome to Martin. Welcome to everybody who is watching the show right now and in the future. But those people who are watching right now, feel free to leave a comment. And the past. That doesn't really work.
You never know.
Everybody who's watching the show right now,
they haven't invented time machines yet. If they
feel free to leave.
They go back and watch it in the past.
Holy shit. Right, so feel free to leave a comment down below, just like the other guys have, and feel free to share and subscribe. We're trying to build a community here and increase our collective nerd knowledge. And
an evil share.
An evil share, definitely an evil share. Now, I watched an interview with Dana Carvey from a couple of years back, and I think it's actually talking to Howard Stern, and they were talking about his relationship with Mike Myers and how I think I might have just gone 8-bit. I talked to Mike Myers about how their relationship has changed and how it's soured after Austin Powers. And that Dana Carvey claims that Mike Myers stole his impersonation, his character of Dr. Evil from an impersonation that Dana Carvey used to do of somebody who worked on Saturday Night Live. And it's just like slightly exaggerated. Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah. And quite interesting. I didn't realize. I didn't actually realize that they that sort of had a bit of a fallout, as it were.
Apparently, I mean, this is just what I've learned about Mike Myers. Mike Myers is one of those guys who made loads of money and then disappeared. He's not the friendliest of people to work with. Again, he's one of those guys that, I don't know, man. I mean, I haven't seen him in anything for so long. It's difficult to kind of. I think he got out of there. What?
You're going to say I haven't seen him for ages.
He never
Like,
comes round. He
don't come round anymore.
Yeah,
don't go
send
pub with me.
Dana a text. He's heard from him, and he's like, "No, I ain't heard from him." I'm like, "Mother," but he stole his Austin Powers impression from me, and I'll go on record as saying that. No, this is all bullshit. But yeah, Mike Myers is one of those guys that I think he's. Do you know, like, he's made loads of money from Austin Powers and his other little comedies and stuff, and he's just decided that he's almost retired, kind of. And
he's making some
things, doesn't he?
He's doing some stuff for Netflix. The only reason I know that there was a casting on Spotlight for it for a Netflix series he's working on in UK. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's obsessed with the UK, isn't he, Mike Myers?
Yeah.
But apparently he's kind of going on from what Webby sort of intimated there. Is I was watching a sort of top 20 on most difficult people to work with, and Mike Myers features in that, along with some other well-known people that we've referred to on the show, many to Chevy Chase.
I mean,
it's like 3 spots lower than you, isn't he, Gittins?
I mean, everybody has a bad day, though. You know what I mean? Come on.
No, he made lots of money, and he kind of like.
Crack is good, Martin. It's very good. No, due to I had the day off today due to
just say COVID. Everybody else does.
COVID, yeah. I don't have it, but somebody might have it. So we've all had to send tests in. So better to be safe than sorry. Gave us the day off, which meant I got.
Has anybody ever been better to be sorry than safe? Do you reckon in history?
It's better to be sorry than safe. Probably not. Probably not. That's quite a profound question that you've just.
It's kind of like.
Just posed
surprised myself with that.
You really have, yeah.
That's pretty good. That'd be a good retort if somebody said it's better to be safe than sorry, and you went, "Is it? Is it?
Think about sorry than safe."
Sometimes. I don't know.
So, gentlemen, have we all seen the Eternals trailer that has come out? The second Eternals trailer.
I have.
Shall we have a little show for those who haven't seen it just yet? We can do
as long as we don't get a strike. Yeah.
We'll do a little stop-start, shall we, as we go through?
Are you going to stop and start?
There you go. I'll do that. Yeah.
5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
So what do we think? What is the emergence? I mean, have you guys read more into this? Do we know?
It's something I don't know about you, Webb. I don't know anything about the Eternals.
I know very little about this other than what they've told me in the trailer. And the first time, so I've not really been that bothered about this film until I found out we now know somebody that's in it. And then I was like, yeah, I'll watch that. That but every trailer I've seen so far has been a little underwhelming until this one, which I thought was really good. But the thing that's just annoyed me, that's made me not want to watch it, is you can't kill everyone with a snap of a finger. You can't snap one finger. You snap more than one finger. Snap of a finger. That's bad English right there, man.
No. If you think about it, you're snapping with your thumb and finger.
It's one finger. It's a snap of a finger.
Yeah.
A finger and thumb, maybe. I don't know. Snap of his fingers, they'd usually say, wouldn't they?
What a picky bastard to pick up on that.
That is the reason you've decided you don't like the trailer.
And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate tidal waves as well. You know me and tidal waves.
You should do an hour-long rant, a separate video just about that spawn snap.
I'm only kidding.
Let's carry on with the. Let's go on, Webby.
She's speaking with a Spanish accent, so I don't want to be like cruel. Could be just an English dialect thing. I don't know.
Don't you be nasty to Salma Hayek.
I'm not. I'm trying to be nice. I'm saying I was only kidding about that. Let's move on.
Let's see what else she's got to say.
She's dead.
How long do we have?
7 days.
Accurate. Oh, that looks nice.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago.
Pause it a sec. Everybody's a lot of people online are moaning about the spaceship, saying like it's like crap basically because it's just a flat thing. But whatever.
And yeah, there's not a lot of options for Lego to make that interesting, is there?
They're bringing it out. So
One of the smallest sets they've ever done. Just one brick.
Just a base plate. There you go. We could sell them in advance. Just buy a pack of base plates and go, that's your ship. There you go, kid. Tenner.
That's an idea for Martin. Martin could just start sneaking out. Just get a load of separate Lego. Make this little brick spaceship.
I've got a question for Martin. I know we're watching trailer, but just a quick question to put in comment, Martin. Do you sell trading cards at WH Smith's? Anyway, keep going.
To protect humans from the deviants.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
Hang on a minute.
Pause it, yeah.
That's not John. Is that Jon Snow saying Thanos or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Why didn't you help Thanos? Got Jon Snow and Rob Stark in there. And interestingly, they've kept Rob Stark Scottish. They've got a Scottish superhero. That's awesome. Glaswegian superhero.
Richard Madden, his name is, isn't it?
They just said then they couldn't interfere, didn't they,
with Thanos, with everything that's going on. So that's what I like about this in this film is so we don't know much about the Eternals throughout. Everything we've seen so far in the MCU, or certainly in these recent phases of the MCU. But if they are this powerful, then everyone's going to be like, why the fuck didn't they help out when Thanos was wreaking havoc across the universe? And they're addressing it.
Well, they said that helped earthly things, didn't they? Not
spacely.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, but we also know that Captain Marvel was doing stuff as well in space, and not too busy. So maybe there is going to be some rationale for it. Let's have a look, see what they say.
We need to find the others.
He's going to be subtitled for
Sorry?
the Americans. He's going to be subtitled for the Americans.
That's been a murder.
Is this the guy coming out here? Or is this the guy that is in? I'm probably
Fantastic
wildly
Beast?
wrong. I was about to say, yeah, he's the.
Looks like him, doesn't it?
It does look like him. A lot like him.
I mean, I've seen Fantastic Beasts once, but no.
Okay, let's carry on.
Entries.
Hi.
Hello.
This is what the end of the world looks like. At least we have front row seats.
You know what's never saved the planet? Your sarcasm.
We have loved these people since the day we arrived.
So are they talking about Earthlings, do you think?
Yes.
When they're saying that we love these people since the day we arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Excellent. Let's carry on.
When you love something, you protect it.
Oh, pause.
Camden Town.
Camden Lock.
That is outside where I used to live.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Jeez. Is that what you want to say? Was Camden?
Yeah. Ipty skip Mary Poppins.
So is Jon Snow not a superhero then?
One of them certainly sounds like they're not. That they're like the representative on Earth, the everyman kind of character that is.
Yeah. Oh, unless this is the point where Jon Snow's just figured out that he can turn buses into dust.
Maybe.
So maybe he's becoming a superhero.
A dustbuster.
I tell you what,
Jesus
it's a little
Christ.
bit more in kin. It's a little bit more in keeping with the Ghostbusters trailer. In that, I still don't really know what's going on. Whereas the Venom trailer, I feel like I've seen the bloody film.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Let's carry on.
You can't protect any of them.
bet you've built the perfect safe house. I mean, what's this even made of? Vibranium?
Fall collection. IKEA.
November the 5th.
I hope that's
It's
not the
coming
big
out.
joke.
I'm kind of like, I think I'm 75% more interested in this film than I was before, which is
Yeah,
odd
me
because
too.
the trailer doesn't usually do that. But I tell you what, it does look like.
Jon
It
Snow,
looks
Black
like.
Knight.
I don't know these characters, Martin. I'm afraid. I know we're supposed to be geeks, but I've never read this arc of comic books, so I'm not familiar with it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. If I end up loving it half as much as I like the Guardians of the Galaxy, then we're on to a winner. I tell you what, it does look like that they have faith in this to the point where they have nailed those effects, man.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Volcano exploding, people shooting.
Looks amazing.
Shit out their eyes.
Mary said
They're not allowed to interfere in Earth unless the deviants are around. Yeah.
Do you want a job, Martin?
I think it looks awesome. No, Martin should definitely come on the show as a guest one week, though. I think it looks absolutely awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Not least just because we've got Xavi in there as well.
Yeah, okay.
Footy cards.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, and after it
footballs.
comes out, all that stuff that Xavi wasn't allowed to talk about.
Yeah, he'll be able to
spill the
reveal.
beans.
Oh, that will be exciting.
Bean spilling session.
Absolutely.
Martin's mentioned this as well. We're going to talk about briefly.
So let's get onto that now, then, shall we? So we do have a copy of this supposed leaked trailer, but it's so bad we decided that we just don't want to give. It's just not going to do justice to the film.
Don't give it a time and it.
Exactly, we don't give it any credit. But there have been some leaked action figures, or some images of some leaked action figures that have been put out there. I think this might be it. I might be clicking on the wrong image here. Let's have a look. No, I'm not. There we go. What do we think of these? You seem to think these are fake, Lummy.
I don't know. It just seems a bit early to bring these out when there's no trailer, but maybe. I mean, as we know, the Ghostbusters ones are out already for the film, and they're spoiling everything. So,
I don't know about this. I mean, it could be real because I've already heard that Mysterio, and definitely know Doctor Strange is in it. I've already heard Michael Keaton's in it, so Vulture's in it. Mysterio has been rumored to be in it. You've got all these different Spider-Mans, so yeah, it could be Andrew Garfield and whoever. What confuses me is and this could be a massive spoiler if this is true. I think that box art, I don't think that's fake.
Iron Man there,
really well put together. Iron Man, or what's she called? Pepper Potts in the Lady Iron Man suit. It's not quite clear who it actually is. The colours are a bit off for me.
Where did you find this picture?
I found it online on Twitter.
Was there no others with it? Just this one?
Just this one.
Right. It's a bit interesting how somebody's only put one up in it.
It was, to be honest, I didn't.
Multi-movie figures.
Yeah, I didn't actually look any further than that. It's because I was trying to find the leaked trailer at the time without realizing how bad.
Can you put the picture back up a second? I think I might have just loofed it, right? I think this is something else. If you look down at the bottom, it says multi-movie collection, right? You've got Spider-Man from the first incarnation of the Andrew Garfield before he's made his suit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've got what looks like Tom Holland's original suit, and then the two suits that he gets, one rumored to be getting in this movie and the one that he got in the last movie, and Spider-Man.
Tony Stark.
Spider-Man from Paris, when he was the black, what did he call him? Monkey? The Black Monkey or something? What did he call him? Monkey? They give him a really silly name. Night Monkey.
Night Monkey, yeah.
Yeah, that sort of outfit. I don't know.
Having said that, though, it does say Spider-Man Far From Home at the top corner as well, though.
And they do make some pretty amazing fakes these days. So, yeah.
Sure.
But obviously, we found out that it looks like Tobey Maguire is going to be in the new Spider-Man film, and also, what's he called?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, yeah. So
this has been rumoured for quite some time. And we've talked about this before on the show. The accuracy in advance of these internet rumours is becoming quite spooky. It is. Yeah, they're just nailing some stuff, and they're nailing it years in advance. So,
Well, I think that brings me on to the next topic, because Kevin Feige, the one of the main guys behind the MCU, has done an interview recently that Den of Geek have reported on. So basically, he said, I think we want there to be a reasonable amount of time from Endgame to start a new saga, which is already underway and already started. And then you need time, as you did in phase 1, to build that saga before you start bringing everyone together. And then Den of Geek go on to say, but the act of bringing everyone together might look a little different than it did during the Infinity Saga. There have been there have been various rumors in the last couple of years that Marvel are now planning several different scenarios in an effort to not only recapture the Avengers franchise magic, but deliver something bigger. And this would certainly make financial sense. After all, why have one blockbuster team-up movie when you can have, well, more than one? Interestingly, Marvel is also heavily rumored to be plotting another spectacular team-up movie with the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men. Secret Wars writer Jim Shooter recently claimed he'd had a call from Marvel regarding some of the characters that he'd utilized in the iconic Marvel Comics run, including Beyonder, Titania, and Spider-Woman. They also think there might be a teen Avengers film coming out, or maybe Disney series coming out. So what do we think about that? I mean, it's a kind of a lot of information and a lot of speculation there as well. But when he's talking about sort of beginning the next saga and leaving it time to play out, do you think he's trying to manage the audience's expectations there, or do you think he's actually explaining their plan? What are your feelings? Either of you.
I feel that the can of worms, the lid's already off the can of worms. You can't get the can back on. And now they seem to think that everybody wants to see a team-up movie, which might be true. I think, arguably, if you just kept releasing Spider-Man, kept releasing Iron Man movies, kept releasing all these different... They'd still work as standalones with the odd cameo from the Hulk or Black Panther or whoever, right? It would always work like that. I mean, there is a limit to the amount of shits I give about all these different characters that I don't care about. So it depends on the property. But in a way, I'd also argue that a lot of the times I'm getting introduced to characters that I never really cared about, and the new take on these characters is really good, really interesting.
It's like what happened with Iron Man, really, isn't it? The first one,
bring it on.
I was never interested in Iron Man or Captain America, and they made me interested in both of those characters.
Yeah. So,
excuse me.
If they do it well, I think there's sometimes a problem that they release so much that you think, I mean, that's what I got a bit bogged down with the superhero stuff at one point. I'm like, I don't want to watch any more of this stuff, and I feel a bit like that at the moment. Maybe they should have had a bigger break from it all, and come back with the next phase. And I don't know, but they've got to keep content coming though, and money coming in, haven't they? But
I mean, does it feel like? Go on, Webby, go on.
I was just going to say what's really cool about what Marvel are trying to do is they're trying to get things that have always belonged to Marvel in essence. So you can sell things on, but people still believe it's Marvel at heart, right? And the fact that this is all coinciding with... I've just read this a couple of days ago, and I'm just double-checking to fact-check that I'm not wrong, but they are really close to a deal, Disney and Sony, to get Spider-Man back where he belongs with the rest of the characters. Everything that comes out of them. So the next Spider-Man film will be a Sony Pictures film. It's not Disney. It's not well, it will be Marvel, but it's not Disney. So they want it all back in the same place, just to extract every last cent they can out of every property. You know what I mean? So the fact that literally 2 days.
Well, it's more they couldn't use him, wasn't it? They weren't allowed to use him. That's the problem, wasn't it? It's not just... Well, it is about the money, obviously, as well. But
they've obviously made a deal, because you've got Captain America 3 where Spidey shows up, and then you've got him in Infinity War and Endgame. Spoilers. So I'm not sure. I mean, they must be able to reach a deal.
Does it feel like, to you guys, that the next phase has started? Or because he's talking about it already being underway, but the fans having to be patient. Does it feel like it started, or does it feel like they're still tying up loose ends from the last phase?
I think they're trying really desperately, not desperately, they're trying to start the new phase. For me, the last phase ends with Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man, Far From Home. And and Endgame. So wherever basically you lose major characters, I feel like it's already started again with things like Loki and What If and WandaVision, all going on about this multiverse. However, most of those things, so WandaVision happened. When does WandaVision happen in the grand scheme of it? Is it in the middle of? But anyway, they happen before the arc and before Endgame ends.
Yeah, WandaVision.
Like Loki
because,
happened. Yeah, because of the Vision, the
yeah,
Dark
of course,
Vision,
yeah.
And so I don't know, man. I mean, listen, whatever they're doing, they're really, really doing a good job of triple checking their facts and dates and times and what's happening in the comics and sort of trying to keep it all going. So that's where most people think that if you are a reader of the comics and you're up to date with the storylines, you kind of know where this is all going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going into the cosmos, the multiverse.
But do you think, in order to be able to follow the big blockbuster films that they're going to, that obviously going to be releasing in the next few years, do you think that you are going to have needed your everyday viewer, your casual viewer of Marvel movies? Do you think they will have needed to watch things like WandaVision and all the other series at Disney Plus, Loki and all those, or do you think you'll be able to? Do you think they'll be accessible for people who aren't fanatical about the MCU? Like my mum watches the Avengers films, which surprises the shit out of me. She's 72, but she was like, "Oh, we're watching Endgame tonight," and I was like, "Oh, the Samuel Beckett." And no, the Marvel thing.
I do.
And I'm just like, wow. And why do you sound like Alan Bennett, Mum?
It depends on the individual, doesn't it? I thought that my brother, who's only watched a few of these Marvel films, I thought it just depends. Sometimes he'll say, well, I saw that and I kind of didn't like it because it was talking about all this stuff that's happened in the movies I haven't seen. But I watched this one and it didn't mention any of that, so I enjoyed that one. So it depends on the individual and what you want, you know. And also, quite selfishly, I've already watched all this shit, so I'm ready for the next phase. I'm ready to be entertained again. I'm certainly not ready to watch it all again, and I'm unconcerned with whether people have seen the entire.
I think they have to cater for people who haven't seen it. So the Disney Plus stuff, at least, I think with the movies they'll have to do that. Which
it's just that makes it quite a difficult thing, though, doesn't it? To have enough material in there for the fans that have invested all that time into all of the products, but to not bog the narrative down in that for the people who haven't invested.
If you think about it, though, all they're doing, it's kind of all these series and everything. If you think about it, it's really just backstories, in it, or side stories. I reckon you'd be able to watch any of the
I think
major
you're
movies.
perfectly right. And I was just about to say, if you think about it, out of everything I've seen in the Marvel TV world, nothing massively consequential.
And the multiverse has already been introduced anyway, hasn't it?
Yes.
The multiverse has already been there in Endgame and Infinity War, and it's
I mean, it just sort of takes the screen and opens it up a bit, so you get to see a little bit of what's going on at the sides of the screen. So I mean, WandaVision was probably the closest to sort of getting in there. I don't know, because Loki did as well, and
it'd be like if they made a James Bond series about the prologues to each film.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then you went and watched A View to a Kill, and you went, I don't know.
Or
maybe that's a shit
what
analogy.
We already know, right? Which is that WandaVision and Loki.
That took place between Infinity War and Endgame, didn't it? WandaVision.
I can't remember.
I'm sure it did because what happens with
it's after it all.
It has to be after, because she's in the fight with Thanos, isn't she? And so is Vision in there?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Oh, Vision dies. Vision, the spoilers. Vision dies, doesn't he, with Thanos? And that's how she starts the series.
Yes, that's
right. Yeah, but that's
all after. It's all after Endgame, all of it.
No. Vision dies before Endgame.
But at the end of WandaVision, she's sat in that thing with all her powers going, reading that book, which leads into Doctor Strange multiverse thing.
Okay. So that was going to be my point, is that if we see Scarlet, as we know we're going to see Scarlet Witch and Spider-Man in the next multiverse of madness Doctor Strange film, then yeah, it might be helpful to have watched the entire show. But I'm sure within a couple of lines in a movie, they can explain why Wanda Maximoff is now involved in this story. You don't have to watch the whole show, I don't think, because it's going to alienate everybody. It's finding that balance, isn't it, between keeping everybody interested, but also not ruining your story by pandering to everybody. Do you know what I mean? So in my eyes, if you went to see Multiverse of Madness and that's the first Marvel film you go to see, you're probably going to be well confused. But if it works the way they want it to work, what it's going to make you do is go, well, I'm going to have to go watch the rest of them now. Just like a good comic book. When you get to a certain bit in a comic and you realize that Batman and Robin are no longer working together and he went off and started his own thing and he's got his own comic book line and I mean, everybody's got their own comic book. Nightwing, Batgirl, everybody. It all depends on how much you want to explore. But the clever writing with the Batman stuff is when you know where it's self-referential and you realise you're reading a story and it says in little brackets at the bottom, by the way, this bit of this story or this item they've got came from this arc, came from here. And it'll tell you the issue number so you can go back. And comics have always done that. Even back when Stan Lee was writing them, they've always said, if you want to see more on this, or if you want to know more about Thor, it pops up in this Fantastic Four, but you can go read his own comic. You know what I mean?
Hey, Spidey fans!
Excelsior!
I like to talk about my favorite superhero. We need a Stan Lee image, don't we? So we can bring it into the conversation.
What did I read about Stan Lee? I read something about him the other day about all the cameos he's done in the Marvel movie.
Oh yeah,
should have been him being the Watcher or something like that. Or
he was. I thought he was in one of them. Sat on a planet as the Watcher. That's
in Guardians of the Galaxy, isn't it?
Is it?
We've got some other news this week. So I think. Lummy, were you dressed as a fireman pretending to have a retirement party in London this week by any chance?
Yes, I was.
You were. So you did meet Harrison Ford then. Oh, look at you. I mean, it's amazing.
Hitler?
Oh, it's Bob Mortimer. Bob Mortimer as a character.
Yeah, Shut the front door. All right, I can kind of see it now.
Doing a bit from On the Buses or something like that. Yeah, so Harrison Ford just happened to be getting out of his car as this gentleman was retiring from the London Fire Brigade. And he's a huge Star Wars and Indiana Jones fan. And he went over and Harrison Ford shook his hand, had a photo taken with him and wished him a very happy retirement.
And what's he saying? Caption this photo, Lummy. What's he saying to him right there?
You do what? You put out fucking fires?
Okay. I was just saying have you got a light?
I was Han Solo in 4 movies, you and you put out a fire.
And in other celebrity news this week, Tom Cruise currying favour. He went for a tikka masala in Birmingham and enjoyed it so much. He ordered another one and ate it all over again. That's the greatest compliment. So big up to
They really are playing loose with that. They're playing loose with that. Can we get a photo together thing now? Can I get a photo with me stood 20 meters behind you?
But we know that Tom Cruise is big on his social distancing, isn't he?
And it's like, technically, you're still with me, man. Technically.
I was just about to say, can you do a Tom Cruise? But
no.
Yeah. After our impressions session last week.
I know. It was difficult coming up with the best and worst this week after the hilarity of last week's. That was a
we didn't.
So we did. No, we did. Any news that you gents want to talk about?
Yes. Big in this week. You ready for this one? How long have we been waiting for news of this? Right.
Some of us longer than others.
I'm not joking.
One of us.
Wednesday, 6 p.m. UK time. Big announcement. There's going to be a new trailer for it and a release date on Gamescom. So there you go.
I don't believe you.
It's true.
Are we gonna? Do you want to do a standalone episode about the release trailer, Lummy?
Yeah, I'll tell me on.
A 2-hour show of us watching Lummy play it.
I'll be live streaming that. Don't you worry. You can jump in and out.
These golden coin bricks.
You know the Lego studs, so Why do you ridicule me with Lego when you both like Lego?
I don't really. I'm just fascinated.
This
by
game's
your
like having the
obsession with this
entire.
movie.
This is like having an entire Lego set. This game. Do you understand?
I understand. I'll probably play it. I'm just.
You will play it.
Not quite as on. Of course I will. But I'm not quite as bothered when it comes out as you. You've been waiting for years for this fucking.
Everybody's been waiting for years. This is the point. It was supposed to come out two years ago. 2 years ago they announced this game, and then
at least you know it'll be perfect. I don't know why they don't just do what they do with every other game. Is you say, "Oh, the game's out," and then you go to find out that you've got to pay 20 quid for the rest of the game. That's not coming out for 6 months. And they just keep building on it. I'm like, that's not right. You can't keep.
Just keep releasing patches until they fix the game. You
could have done that with Skywalker Lego. You could have done it years ago.
Well, it's Cyberpunk what did that. It came out and it won.
Cyberpunk 2077, is it? Yeah. It was
broken, wasn't it?
I mean, it's looking all right now. But then Fallout 76, they released a game that just was boring as balls and wasn't at all popular. But actually, in the last year or so, it's become an awesome game. They've released loads of content for it, loads of new missions, loads of quests. It's great.
Yeah. There's probably a lot more examples we could cite as well if we played anything other than Fallout 76 and fucking Lego.
It's true.
Yes. What else did you want to share with me? Any of the news?
No, I was trying to find, actually, there was a picture. I'll have a look. Talk about something else for a minute. I want to find...
Brilliant.
Talk about what's going on with my neck.
What's going on with your neck, Webby?
I don't know. It seems like one of them neck flaps.
Your neck like a turkey. Like the gobbledygooker. Look at you. Look at you. Gobble.
I don't know.
Oh, Webby.
Oh, Father Time, isn't he a delight?
Father Time.
Father Time is a bastard.
What's happening today, Father Time? Oh, man.
Your knees are going to
fall off.
Your hips going to just randomly going to hurt as you get up in the morning. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
What are you looking for, Lummy? What is
I've got it here. I just need to add it to the thing. Hang on.
Well, while you do that, let's have a look at some comments from friends of the show. See who's got what to say. Martin. Oh, Rich plays cult of personality music. Did you see? Nathan, do you want to become famous by followers, primes, and viewers on big followers? No, not bothered. Okay.
I'm all right.
Oh,
you've got to buy your followers.
I've got it. I've got the picture. Here we go.
Thank you so much for the offer there.
So, Mission Impossible. Some guy went out in his field and took a photo. Well, there's a video actually online of Mission Impossible filming with this. So they shoved the train off this place. I think we're in Yorkshire. This.
They've already done this shit in Back to the Future, man.
Yeah. So they did that.
Oh, you're a phony, Tom Cruise. You're a phony. These are shit. 30 years ago.
Wasn't really worth getting that picture, wasn't it?
Oh, it was cool. That looks awesome.
I mean, what happens? I don't understand. Everybody knows that steam trains these days are on a limited track run. They can't go wherever they want. They're not going to send it accidentally off a cliff. It's going to be stuck to the same boring ass, the journey it's got to make every day. Usually through the Dales or something, or
Going back to the Marvel chat, we talked about the order of things. I said that the new Captain America film is straight after the Winter Soldier TV show. Yeah,
and Anthony Mackie's just signed a deal to be in it.
Hey, Spidey fans!
I thought you were going to say something about Captain America, Stanley.
No.
Can't wait to see this one.
When I came up with the idea for Captain America, I thought America needs a superhero. Who can I have as an American superhero? An all-star American.
Oh,
brilliant.
Nice. Do you know what I'd love? I'd love for you to do write a sketch and do a sketch show between just a chat between Donald Trump and Stanley. I just think that I think there's some mileage in that.
I bet you wouldn't.
There'd be some mileage in that, Lummy. I reckon you'd be able to master that. Gentlemen, this week I set the challenge of coming up with our best and worst movie musicals or musical movies. So what did we come up with Lummy. Let's go with you first this week.
You always go with me first.
I know, it's just sexier, and I prefer
yourself first, Rich. Fuck him. You go first, mate.
Do you know what? I'm going to go first. I'm going to do that, Webby. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go first. Yeah, Lummy, I'm going to go first. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I will. This is me going first.
Go on, then.
My best. I don't know how to do this because I've never gone first before. My best musical film that I had picked is the original The Producers. Now, I saw this actually quite late. I saw this in, I think, like 1999, maybe. Yeah, about 1999. And was just absolutely gobsmacked at this ballsy old film where they're singing Springtime for Hitler in Germany. I mean, just that was the thing that kind of was like, wow, it's kind of got me hooked. It's just a ballsy, funny film. It's a really nice concept, trying to make a musical flop that just ends up being this massive success. Gene Wilder is just a tour de force in the show. It was just brilliant. I absolutely loved it. What about you guys? What do you think of?
I think he's a Tour de France as well. Love him.
He's a Tour de France. Brilliant.
I'm probably going to be really unpopular here. It just doesn't happen very often. No, I don't mind the original, but I absolutely love the sequel. I love the sequel. The Matthew Broderick.
The music.
Is it a sequel or is it a reboot?
No, it's a
remake.
Right, okay.
I absolutely love the remake. I love it.
I actually haven't seen
Will
it.
Ferrell is hilarious in that with the.
Is it Matthew Broderick? Oh, no. Actually, I have seen that. I have seen him do that.
Nathan Lane.
So really I saw Nathan Lane do it live in town. At Drury Lane, funny enough. And he was absolutely brilliant in it. He was awesome. So yeah, I can imagine. And Matthew Broderick's just brilliant anyway.
Have you seen the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where he does it as well?
I have.
No.
I have. That is brilliant. So Larry David signs up to do The Producers in New York to get out of doing something in LA.
Okay.
Right, and he finds out that David Schwimmer's going to be playing the Matthew Broderick role. So he goes to meet his dad. He goes to meet David Schwimmer, and David Schwimmer's dad's there. And he's going on about this. Have you seen it? He's going on about the trail mix. He's like, why don't you ever get the...
I have seen that. No, I have seen that.
There's never enough fruit in the trail mix. And David Schwimmer's like, my dad owns the company that makes that trail mix. Yeah. So he starts... So Larry Davies goes up to his dad. He's like, you should put more cranberries in the fruit mix. And his dad's like, fuck you, man. It's just brilliant. The chaos that he causes around it.
But it's got Ben Stiller stabs him in the eye, doesn't he, at his party as well, because he's in it originally with him, and then he has to drop out because he stabs him, and somebody else is supposed to be in it. That camp.
Yeah, there's a couple of people.
So you're not an actual fan of the original film with Gene Wilder? Or?
I don't mind the original. It's really funny. I just prefer the remake. I think I've seen that more, and there's a couple of lines. I'm not even sure if they're from the original. I don't know if it's a direct, like they've just done a complete reboot or what. I don't know. But there's a couple of lines in it that always make me laugh. There's the set designer when they go to the set designer's house and he's coming down this grand staircase singing his song, and he goes something like, "I'm having a stroke of genius," and it's just like that's
in the original. Yeah, that's
the original. Like I said, I don't know what's from what, but I absolutely loved the second one. I think
that was brilliant. It was made, so it was released in 1967. It was made on a budget of $941,000, and it made 1.6 million. So didn't even, barely recouped the money that was spent on it. But I mean, I was going to say you wouldn't necessarily. Would you think you would get a show like that made these days? I know they've got the reboot. That's because it already existed. But if somebody had come up with this as a new idea these days,
probably not.
I don't think it would.
Actually, it depends who were doing it. Right, if it were a newbie playwright or something, no, not a chance in hell. If it's somebody who already does stuff like this, and I'm thinking South Park guys.
That's a good point. Yeah,
with guts in this industry, aren't you?
Well, that's the point. I mean, you've still got Book of Mormon, and Book of Mormon is the ballsiest musical I've ever seen, and I would love that to be made into a film. I know. There's elements of Book of Mormon that is for lots of their previous stuff that they've taken from. But
here's one for you then. Do you reckon you'd be able to make a kind of a a controversial play or musical more than you'd be able to make a film at the moment.
Yeah, because anybody can do that. It's just whether the reviewers would absolutely pan you or not. Because at the moment, you've got this thing where theatre, I think, is...
Actually, having said that, anybody can make a film, though, can't they? Put it online now.
They can do, but it's whether, I think.
And there's a medium you've forgotten about as well. TV is doing a lot of things that they'd never do in film because they're scared to do it, and they'd never do on the stage because they're scared to do it.
I'm going to use the letters PC, not in a derogatory way at all, because I don't think there's anything wrong with being politically correct or just being mindful of other people. But I think theatre is certainly not that there were gatekeepers in theatre, but through Twitter and things like that, the theatre community is very noisy. So if you did something that was deemed insensitive or I think you'd probably get hammered for it.
Unless you make a point of saying this is going to offend you. Do you know what I mean? Because everybody thinks that. And then stuff like Book of Mormon with all its jokes about villages in Africa and religion and AIDS and famine and all warlords.
And God.
With the song specifically saying F you, God. You know, unless you specifically say, look, just be careful. This ain't for you. Don't take your grandma to see this. She might not like it. There's plenty of other plays you can see. In fact, most of them are grandma friendly. You know what I mean? That's what they kind of exist for. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm just glad that stuff like this does exist. And as vulgar as Mel Brooks can be, and as cheesy as he can be, at least he's there. I don't think any of his films have grossed much more than the producers. I reckon probably Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs did pretty well. I don't know what the highest grossing Mel Brooks film is, but he doesn't care. He's not doing it for the money.
Young Frankenstein, don't forget.
But he's doing it. I think he genuinely does it because he's from an oppressed religion. You know, being a lifelong Jew, he understands the importance of laughter, of making people laugh.
You say Blazing Saddles. I mean, it was made on a budget of $2.6 million.
Dude, I'm just guessing. I can't remember all his films.
What do you think? What do you think it took at the box office? $2.6 million. It was salads.
5.
Blazing Salads.
It's probably.
You've been on a better diet the last few weeks.
It's probably low. 5.
I think it's high because it got notoriously.
It's high. It's high.
30, 100. 130.
300 billion.
$119.6 million. And
how much did it cost to make?
2.6 million.
Wow.
Now, is this the total gross since it came out?
117. No, that's the box office
for that year.
What about? Have you got the figures for Young Frankenstein?
Young Frankenstein. I was about to.
I'm interested.
Let's have a look. So, Young Frankenstein came out around about the same time as well. 2.78 million. So it makes his films around about the same, around about the same price. Box office on Young Frankenstein, quite a bit less, but still very good. 88.2 million.
I bet Spaceballs did way better than it deserved to do because.
I bet it didn't.
How long after Star Wars did Spaceballs come out? 1987. So
after Jedi.
Yeah, after
Jedi were 85.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
Okay, no, 83. Sorry, 83.
Wow. Okay, well, for a start, Spaceballs was made for 22.7 million, which is quite a lot for that time. And it took. What do you think at the box office? It took
not much. I reckon it didn't do very well.
Oh, it depends how many times Lummy and his brother went to see it.
30 million.
Not bad.
And half of that came from Lummy and his brother.
38.1 million.
All right.
30, yeah. But in defense, you have to be like 10 years old to think that film's good. You really do. Sorry, Lummy, but you do. Even rewatching, you only love it because you remember it and you like the cheesiness.
I don't love it. I'll be honest with you. I don't love that film.
Okay.
I think there's some good gags in it, but
Yeah, at the expense of a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, okay.
I saw Spaceballs for the first time last year for the show, and I thought it
now it's not going to be. Yeah, you're not going to enjoy it now.
I didn't like it at all.
I couldn't believe that the film came from a Jewish person. It was so anti-Semitic all the way through. Well, the first 25 minutes that I watched, I just turned it off. I wanted to get to the bit with the alien in the cantina with John Hurt and everything. I just couldn't be bothered.
That's right. The end. You should have skipped the end.
I should have skipped it. You're right, buddy.
Skipped the end.
Thanks. Where were you at the time?
I know.
I should have texted you. Go, what shall I do?
Should have run me and I'd have gone. Skip it.
25 minutes into a film and I'm just not enjoying it.
My worst musical movie film is. I'll wait for me to stop typing so you get ready to put on the poster. It is Spice World the movie. Yeah. Now look, I don't want to undermine. I don't want to minimize how important the Spice Girls were for women in this country.
Very quickly, sorry. This is funny. It's perfect.
Hello, Polar Knights. How the heck are you? Welcome to the show. I don't want to minimize what they did for sort of girl power and for women in the country and things like that. They were really important at the time.
Dude, they have got an extra word in that title. In the thing there, they don't just sing. You didn't need the just.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm going to defend these girls.
Do what you like. The shit.
I'm defending them. I'm defending these lasses.
I didn't even know this was a musical.
Yeah, they brung themselves up. They came from the gutter. They got where they were, and they made some money.
They
raised
themselves. It's definitely a musical. Yeah. They sing. Of
course, it's a musical.
The Gary Glitter classic. Do you want to be in my gang?
I just remembered a musical that I might have picked. I just remembered I didn't pick it. Anyway, I'll go back to that when we do recommendations. This film's all right. No. This film's all right.
Hear me out, right? Because I think I know what you're going to say. Hear me out. Now, I worked at the cinema with you, Lummy, when this film came out. Now, actually, there are so many things about this film that are brilliant, like really funny. There's some really funny, cheesy miniature work. The fact that it is kind of a film within a film, and then got this weird kind of documentary thing that's being made at the same time. There's so many really good techniques that they use, but it's just wasted on the Spice Girls, and that's my issue with it. The cast alone that they've brought in for this film is insane. You got Alan Cumming, Roger Moore, Richard E. Grant, Elton John, Elvis Costello, Stephen Fry, Meatloaf, Hugh Laurie, Jennifer Saunders, Bob Geldof, Michael Barrymore, Bob Hoskins. I could have taken Michael Barrymore out of that. Richard O'Brien. I mean, it's got a lot of people in this film. Dominic West is in it. A lot of people are in this film that are kind of big hitters. Gary Glitter's also in it as well. I didn't realize that. But so it's got a lot of huge names in it, and it's got a lot of really good techniques. But it's just a terrible, terrible film.
Do you know why I don't mind it? I'm not going to rush out and buy a copy and love it. You know what I mean? I don't love this thing, but it knows what it is.
Yeah, and you can't. And the ending of it does kind of.
Yeah, you can't argue with that because it's kind of, it knows what it is, and it's basically just a giant music video to sell the album. And it's fine. That's what it is.
And it wasn't made for me.
I want to know how much it made, though. I want to know how much money it made.
Yeah, and how much it cost as well.
Yeah,
that'd
be.
Bear in mind, most of this money came from my partner and a sister as well. I'm sure they went to see it a few times.
Yeah. It was busy at the cinema as well. It was rammed.
It was busy.
This was Spice Mania, wasn't it, at the time?
Yeah.
Full of people that annoyingly didn't really belong in a cinema, though.
Yeah.
They never came for any of the other movies.
Yeah, you could say that about loads of them, couldn't
you? Yeah. It cost $25 million to make. And it made... Go on, have a guess, Lummy. What do you think it made?
150.
Webby?
I was going to say that.
100 million. 100 million.
100 million.
So it made 4 times what it cost.
Okay,
but I'm
for
just
me,
not a fan of a musical and I nearly picked Mamma Mia for this reason. And if there was a film version of We Will Rock You, I'd have definitely picked that. And Rock of Ages as well. I'm not a fan of musicals where they try and fit a story around or a narrative around pre-existing songs.
I've seen it done well. I've seen it done well once,
Mamma Mia,
and
yeah.
it was an anomaly for me. And I know that it's not everybody's opinion, but I quite liked the Rocket Man, the Elton John one. I thought they used the songs really well in that, and it actually worked.
Bohemian Rhapsody. I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody. So
Bohemian Rhapsody is no, that's not like that. That's more like watching them rehearse or watching them do live. So it's exactly what you said about it's them just performing the songs. In fact, it didn't. That's another thing that annoyed me about that movie. The guy won an Oscar. He didn't fucking sing it. It wasn't him singing. They had to get another guy in to sing, and that just pisses me off. You're giving him an Oscar. He didn't even do half the work. Now,
I mean, we were working at the Cinema Martin at the time, so we didn't have to pay to see it.
Exactly, you got to see it. He was always recommending to be sat in Odeon 1, looking after the Spice World movie.
Oh, Spice Girls again.
Oh, damn it, you know.
Can I just say, I don't know why I'm making myself out to be a super fan of the Spice Girls. I can't actually stand them, but, you know.
Now, luckily for Webby,
that's too. Actually, hang on, that's too strong. I don't not like them at all. I'm a bit. I'm confused about this one. I'm confused. Well, they're all right, aren't they? They're not. They don't mean any harm. Leave them be. Just go.
Well, luckily for Webby, unbeknownst to Webby, I was frantically trying to search for the picture of me and you dressed as Posh Spice and Baby Spice at a birthday party when we were at college. That we're going to put up on here. I couldn't find it, but actually, in hindsight, Webby was quite hot, just as Posh Spice. Like you're pretty.
Well, I'll leave.
Yeah.
You were quite sexy.
Right, listen, guys. Before, just let me say my bit. The cynic in me, luckily for you guys, he's gone to bed. He can't be arsed. And there's so much shit I could say about this movie. It's clear to me exactly what it is. It's just part of the path of a ginormous band. And it's been going on for fucking years. Ever since Elvis started making movies and people went to see him. Then the Beatles. Then the Who with Tommy. You know, it's just one of them things that bands do. The movies are generally never very good. Just one of them things. But the fans go to see them. I can't say shit about Spice World. I went to see fucking Moonwalker by Michael Jackson. Weirdly enough. I watched that recently because my kids just discovered Michael Jackson and the dancing. We talked about
this the other week,
And bloody hell, it's unfathomably. It's unfathomably blah blah blah. I can't speak. It's so bad. It sucks the words out of your mouth, and you can't make them work anymore. It's just absolutely the ramblings of a complete madman.
Yeah,
it really is. Make your mind up. Do you want to be a car, a transformer? What are you going to turn into next, Michael Jackson? You really don't want to. Whatever it is, as long as it's not yourself, you're happy to be it.
What would you have done very quickly then? What would you have done with the Spice Girls to make a movie? What would you have done with them?
If you wanted another 100 million, easy. They all get topless, and then not only have you got all the young girls going to see him who don't care about being top, but all the old perverts go to see it as well. Makes another 100 million. Everybody's seen some Spice Girl boobies. Tell me I'm wrong. Come on. I know it's not right, but it's not wrong.
I'd have sent them to the
Space
Cannes Film Festival, right? Showing the first movie there. So it's like a movie within a movie.
But it already was a movie within a movie.
Yeah, but it's a movie within a movie within a movie.
Within a movie.
See,
and then it'll implode on itself. Then you send them into space.
I'd have crossed this movie with Gladiator, and I'd have had them all facing off. Each Spice Girl's got to face each other off in a fight to the death. So at the end, clearly, it's Mel B just stood on a pile of Spice Girl bodies.
What if they went into a dimensional vortex and they had to deal with each of their things? Like you've got Scary Spice, she has to deal with scary stuff. Sporty Spice has to run away from giant tennis balls and things like Indiana Jones.
Ginger Spice has to run away from a bunch of ginger. I don't know, but in that Gladiator move, I reckon the first thing that happens in the Gladiator scenario is that Mel B straight up bites Victoria's head off, spits it across the arena. That's how it starts.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah. And you got Simon Cowell sitting in the thing going like, oh.
I was saying, you got David Beckham in the crowd going.
Yeah. I like pipes. I like pipes.
Webby.
Didn't even know that was a musical. I'm blown away.
Yeah, Webby.
Makes sense.
My friend Trev is in that. He used to be one of the Dream Boys, and the Dream Boys are also in that film. And
he's never worked again.
He has. He's worked quite a lot. Just not as a Dream Boy. Yeah. Webby, what is your best and worst musical film?
My best musical of all time, and I thought about this long and hard. I just cannot. I love quite a few musicals. Some of them got a really special place in my heart, but none more special than the Rocky Horror Picture Show, especially the Picture Show. I hate the live version because it's not got the people from the original in it, and I just want to see them doing what I could see on DVD. I don't want to see anybody else doing it. I don't care. I don't want to see the live one. Shoot me down if you want. I don't care. That's what I love.
I saw songs. Jason Donovan doing it, and he was brilliant. I
couldn't give a shit.
He was brilliant. he was really, really good.
Did he have his coat on at start?
No, that's a different show.
There's just one Frankenfurter for me, and that's Tim Curry. He's absolutely amazing. And when I saw it when I was 12, 13, it really did make me question a lot of things. You know what I mean? So it made me self-reflect about who I was, whether I was straight, whether I, it made me think about things a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no shame about it at all, because this film makes it easy to just say, look, people are people. Let them
I can understand that. No, I can totally understand that. After seeing the live show, I remember coming away from that being like, that's okay. Well, that's just completely opened my mind to a lot of stuff. And also, it was the fact that there were so many people in the live show who were dressed in drag, but so many people that I would never expect to see dressed in stockings and suspenders with makeup and stuff like that. And I was kind of like, oh, do you know what? The world is a much friendlier place and a more accepting place than I ever thought it was. Just
what's really cool about
those people.
What's really cool about it is people go on about how long it's taken for trans rights, gay rights, gender equality, and all these things. Somebody like Richard O'Brien, when he wrote this in like 1969, when it was still a play, was so far ahead of the curve, and he's stuck to his fucking guns for like 50 years. He is who he is. He's completely. I don't know. I can't remember what he classes himself as anymore, but he's definitely not a straight white male. He's just not. He's a lot of in between. It's just interesting, but mainly for me, a musical doesn't work if it hasn't got the songs, and this has got them in fucking spades. Brilliant. I was obsessed before the internet with learning the lyrics, trying to slow the tape down so I could hear what they were saying.
When I first found out Richard O'Brien sang the first song, the narrator's song, that was insane. Because I actually thought that was a female voice. I didn't realise it was him doing it. It's just insane.
There's some brilliant lines in this show, and one of them, it keeps coming back to me, and it's about how we are as a society now. And again, he was way ahead of the curve. And it's that line he's got in one of his songs where the narrator says, "And crawling on the planet's face, some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space and meaning." And I'm like, wow, that is just fucking so right and so amazing. I just think he's great. I really do. He's a great lyricist.
Philosophical question then, sort of deep and meaningful. Richard O'Brien or Ed Tudor-Pole?
What was Crystal Maze?
Crystal Maze. Yeah.
Oh, Richard O'Brien, hands down.
Yeah. He's much better, wasn't he? I mean,
except no imitations, man.
He was
that Tudor-Pole guy. I was just like, fuck off. Where's Richard O'Brien?
Yeah, me too. It seems like he's watched a lot of Richard O'Brien stuff.
More if he wants more money.
Was that what it came down to?
I don't know, but maybe.
Richard O'Brien is just, if you actually do a bit of reading about him, he's just cool as fuck. He's one of those guys who's cool. There's a really cool video on the deleted scenes, on the extras of the Blu-ray of Rocky Horror Show, with Richard O'Brien showing up to the mansion where they filmed it, which is mostly a cardboard cutout backdrop for the movie because they couldn't afford to be there all the time. But he goes to the building where they took the photo, and he's got his acoustic guitar, and he's just wandering around, just singing a couple of songs as he wrote them. You know what I mean? You can picture him writing the demo. You can picture him writing the original source material. I just think it's fucking great. Sometimes everything just lines up perfectly, and that for me is one of those movies. I can watch it anytime. I could watch it now. I love it that much. I could just stick it on now, and I can't see a fault with it at all. Have
you seen the sequel?
No, that is abysmal. I have Shock Treatment. I have.
Yeah,
I have.
I just wondered what
It's not. It's just absolute.
Did Richard O'Brien write it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's in it as well, isn't he? The movie.
Oh, okay.
A couple of the cast from the original are in it.
Okay, so
but not in the same roles. It's all shifted around.
I'm quite shocked that the movie of this cost. I know it's not a lot for a film, but 1.4 million in 1974. I'm quite shocked that it cost that much. But how much do you think it took at the box office?
Now here's the question: was it a classic straight away? Probably not. I reckon it was a slow burner.
I reckon it was one of them overnight sensations, like Lummy says, that actually took a couple of years to trickle down.
I know it used to get played. I mean, it will have made a lot of money if it's the takings over this time.
It's got Susan Sarandon in it as well.
But she wasn't famous at the time.
Was she not?
No,
no. Didn't this famously get played every night somewhere? In a cinema in a small town. I think they put it on every single night.
I think there's a cinema in New York where it just plays on repeat.
If you're doing how much it made when it came out, I reckon it wasn't much, but like you say, cult status.
Cumulatively, yeah, I reckon.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be billions, won't it? Millions and millions. And
give us the figures, dude.
Okay, so it made.
Come on.
In the box office release.
Is this when it first came out though?
Yep. In
right,
1975, it made, having cost 1.4 million to make, it made massive, isn't it? $170 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I mean, when you watch the DVD extras as well, there's just crowds of people. It's like that Muppet sensation.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's because it's the 70s, because it's word of mouth. It spreads differently than it spreads now. Everything's viral now. Everything takes a little time to gather pace back in the 70s, but once it gathers that pace, it's stratospheric.
Also, you know a big thing is how many cinemas it got released in, because that helps, doesn't it? If it only comes out.
Well, that was the thing when we were talking about Red State on the Kevin Smith week, because he went and took that around, so it didn't get a box office release at all. No. He went and took it around universities and colleges and things like that. So apparently the critics absolutely panned it when it came out. Gave it 2.5 out of 4 stars. Curry was the best thing in it, but it was ignored by pretty much everyone, including the future fanatics.
But that's the fascination of it, man. You're watching what you know is a terrible B movie, but it's just so much more than that. Its premise is a B movie premise. A couple of high school kids get stuck in a rainstorm and go to Frankenstein's house, basically. Except in this version, Frankenstein's a transvestite, and he lives with a bunch of weird aliens. You're kind of missing the joke, aren't you? If you overanalyze it, I guess.
Yeah, of course you are.
Do you know? But I used to know a lot of facts about this, but weirdly enough, do you know why Meatloaf got the part?
Yeah.
Can you remember? I don't remember exactly why he got it, but I know that one of the reasons he got it was he was one of the only people that could pronounce a certain lyric in this song, where he says he's singing that song, "Whatever Happened to Saturday Night," when you dressed up sharp and you felt all right. And there's a lyric in it where it says, "I taste her baby pink lipstick, and that's when I'd melt." That's the line. Nobody could fucking say this thing. And then Meatloaf came out and went, "I take the baby pink lipstick," and he just did it. I can't even do it now, and I've heard the song 30,000 times. but he just nailed it, and nobody really wanted him to do it at first. And
I thought we could just because he had a motorbike.
Yeah, that's it.
Webby, looking at time. What is your worst?
Yeah, Webb.
It's exactly the opposite of Rocky Horror Show. There's nothing interesting to say. I don't get this film at all. And one of the biggest things, songs. Right, I have a brilliant memory for songs, Rich. You know this about me. I never forget a tune.
I do.
I cannot remember a single fucking song from this.
Other people know this about you too.
La La Land. I never forget a song. I can't tell you any. Honestly, I didn't get this movie. It wasn't for me. It just didn't. I saw a really funny line about it when it got nominated for the Oscars and stuff, and somebody had put. One of these comedians had put a tweet out saying, "Oh, finally a film that explains jazz music to black people." Because there's not a black person in it, but it's a jazz film, and it's just a really odd you know, clearly the guy doing the tweet was being ironic, just in case that didn't translate very well. But I just thought, yeah, you've got some fucking nerve, Hollywood. It's weird. I didn't like it. I don't get it. I don't care about it.
I'm just wondering how much La La Land took at
the top loads
fucking loads.
Yeah, loads of people went on about
it. Didn't get a penny out of me.
Do you know what? I've never even bothered watching it.
It's awful.
No, I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen La La Land.
People have banged on about it to me. They're going, "You gotta watch that," and I'm like, "Yeah, not bothered."
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
well, it took. Whoa. So its budget was $30 million, and it took
300 million.
448.9.
Fucking pisses me off, man.
How much have you got the figures for Mamma Mia? I'd love to know how much that took, because that was
billions, mate.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they gave the Oscar to La La Land by accident? The guy read it off the card wrong. And it wasn't actually that film, it was the film, it was the other one, Moonlit Mile or something.
Can't remember.
Holy cow. Mamma Mia, this is the 2008 Mamma Mia, cost $52 million, and it is taken at the box office $602 million.
Dude, if you can get that grandma dollar, you quids in.
Yeah.
That's repeat views, isn't it? That money. That's did you see it? I'll come back with you and watch it. It's like,
exactly.
Wow.
I didn't mean that as an insult at all. What I mean by that grandma money is if you can get a film where you take the entire family to go see it.
Yeah. It's the blueprint spot.
And the funny thing is, it proves that you don't need singers in musicals, because Brosnan's and he said himself, "You can't sing a note," and it's you watch it and go, yeah.
I avoided watching this for the longest time, and then when Joe and I got together, she mentioned, "Have you seen it?" I was like, "No." She said, "You've got to see it. It's a laugh at least." I'm like, "Nah, I don't believe it." And when I finally sat down and watched it, it was as fucking terrible as a. It really was. I just thought, okay. I mean, I could just listen to an ABBA album because I don't mind some of their music, and I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Meryl Streep's good in it. Meryl Streep.
Yeah, Julie Walters is awesome.
Yeah. Walters. Yeah, they're good in it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't want to offend the entire.
In fact, Brosnan's great in it because he does it. He does his job. He goes in, he holds his hand up, and he has a go.
But
just like the Spice Girls.
You're talking about a movie where a woman is shamelessly slutty enough to not remember who the father of a child is. There's 3 different blokes. I mean, I know it was the 60s, love, or whatever.
I've still got it.
What song does he sing, man?
Oh, I honestly can't remember. He sings. I think he sings 2. He sings one at the end in the church, and he sings one where he's leant against this building. I don't know why I remember that. I can't remember what it is. I don't know what. I'd sing it for you in his voice if I could remember it.
Gents, we should probably move on to Lummy's True. Thanks, Webby. Lummy, what is your best movie musical?
Mine is Little Shop of Horrors.
I see. This is what I thought Webby was going to go for.
Yeah, so I was gonna. Yeah, I mean, this is great. Frank Oz directing it. You've got basically the dream team comedy cast, aren't you, in this film?
Bill Murray's in it.
Bill Murray, Rick Moranis, John Candy, Steve Martin, Jim Belushi pops up later on. Christopher Guest. God, they're all in it.
Yeah, there's loads and loads.
They're all in it.
Some great cameos.
Have you ever seen it live?
I love the fact that they used Frank Oz's knowledge of puppetry as well to make that plant look, even though it's the 80s, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
his lips don't move like a muppet. It's got proper flow to it.
Curls.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Have you seen the live show, Lummy?
No, I've got the. I've listened to the album of the live show. The original cast thing, which is different in it, obviously.
Yeah.
They filmed an alternate ending, didn't they, as well? That's like the play. For this,
there's a couple of songs missing, isn't there? Like the Meek Shall Inherit Nothing.
Yeah.
Which I think is in the trailers, in the credits. I love this film, man, and yeah, we spoiler alert, guys. We did have a little discussion because I was nearly going to pick this, but honestly, this is a faultless musical for me. I love it. Probably as much, but I thought I can't take that away from Lummy.
Yeah, no, but this is one of them things where you know all the songs, don't you? You know all the lyrics, and you have a good sing and
It sticks to a format.
I didn't realise it was directed by Frank Oz.
Yeah.
I didn't realise
it sticks to a format. The guys who wrote the music for this, Rich, they went on to become Disney's biggest writers. They wrote all the songs for The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast.
Well, he came up with it, didn't he? Was it Alan Menken?
Alan Menken and Howard Ashman.
It was Howard. It was his idea, wasn't it?
Miles Goodman and Alan Menken.
Right, but the Howard guy. Hang on, Howard. Wait, he came up with the idea, didn't he?
No, the idea is from the original Little Shop of Horrors with Jack Nicholson. It's a black and white.
Yeah, but he got the rights to do a stage version of that and did it off Broadway. That's right.
They said to each other, wouldn't it be funny if somebody made a B movie that's already existed into a proper musical?
Yeah.
But the music in this film has got a theme, and it's all very 60s and 50s and doo-wop and rock and roll, and it's just pitch perfect for the film.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
And people like Rick Moranis can actually really belt it out. He's a great singer. He's great. And Audrey's fantastic.
Yeah. And one of the rare examples that they give it to the person who was on the stage role as well, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
You know, look what they did with. They did it with producers actually, didn't
they? They did it with Nathan Lane. Yeah.
I'll tell you, while we're talking about
music, Frankenfurter as well. Tim Curry. He used to do it on Broadway. He was in the
So there's loads of them. You know me.
Yeah, all of them, dickhead.
Yeah. They're doing a Spamalot film version of the musical. Do you know that?
Are they?
Yeah,
I wonder where it thought it would be about time for them to do something like that.
I want them to do a Groundhog Day one of the musical.
They've done it. Oh, right.
No, a movie of the musical.
I don't know why the musical didn't, because the musical was sold out every single. I mean, you have people queuing around the block for that show. My mate Andy was in it, and he said it was so difficult to remember what you were supposed to do because you are playing the same scenes over and over and over again, but ever so slightly different. But everybody has to be absolutely. So there's like a conveyor belt scene with all the suitcases coming off a conveyor belt, and you've got to make sure you're grabbing the right one at the right time. But then when somebody else takes one, that means everybody. It's just it throws everything out. He said the focus. It was the most exhausting show he's ever done, but he absolutely loved it. It's brilliant. What about your worst musical, Lummy? Your worst musical film?
Worst one is right. I've got a couple actually, but it's same ballpark. So I'll put that on up. Right, these Disney remakes. Disney, there you go, Lion King, Aladdin, all these Disney remakes they keep doing really winds me up because they've got the same songs in it. They're just not as good. Not as good. The Lion King one, they've recast it all with people who are, I think, not as good as the original version for a start. And that's an example of something not working because these realistic animals are supposed to be reacting and singing songs. It just don't work. It's really. I'm glad in a way that
I agree with you for most of them, except occasionally there's one that slips past me and it's actually really good. But I'm not sure if that's the strength of the story and the music in it. For example, the Jungle Book remake was so beautifully, painstakingly animated and pretty well cast, and it was actually quite exciting. And they didn't really mess around with the songs too much. The songs weren't a massive feature in it. However, The Lion King, you're right. It just didn't need to exist.
Which one are you picking, The Lion King or Aladdin, as your worst?
I think you're saying they're all in the same ballpark.
Lummy.
I don't know if it's
got
a text, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I missed that. Sorry.
How is Terry? She all right?
It's not that. Go on,
sorry. Which one are you picking? Aladdin or The Lion King?
God, don't know.
I think he's allowed to have them all in the same.
See, that's to me. I mean, I did go see this. I went to see Aladdin, the new one, and it was okay. It just wasn't. You watch it and think it's never going to beat Robin Williams as a genie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're watching it thinking I like Will Smith, but he ain't the genie. He doesn't really need to be here. He didn't ruin in the film, but
it might have been better if they'd have tried to redo different songs instead of just doing a carbon copy. It's too similar. It's like the songs are the same.
But also there's that element of Will Smith being who he is. The Friends Like These songs sounds like a little more like Fresh Princey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got an element of hip hop to it.
Guy Ritchie seems like a really strange choice.
Yeah.
of director.
direct it.
And did the
Dunno.
screenplay for it. It seems a weird choice. Anyway, get down to figures. It was made at a cost of $183 million.
I mean, is that enough fucking money, you twats?
Well,
Fucking spend on a movie.
When it takes when it then takes $1.051 billion in the box office, I reckon they're probably
right. What about the animated version?
What you've just discovered is hang on one sec. What you've just discovered there, Rich, is the reason they are doing this with every fucking Disney movie. That's the reason. They're guaranteed $1 billion every time one of these pieces of shit comes out.
Yeah.
What about the original? You know, the animated one. I'd love to know what that made.
Well, you've got to adjust it for inflation and everything.
Of course you do. Yes, of course you do. And that was 28 million it made. And it took $504.1 million.
But there's so much more love and care and time gone into that. You know,
but you got also
animating hundreds of frames.
You've also got to remember that the later one, the 2019 version, it cost 6 times.
Yeah.
6 times the amount. So when you look at it that way, actually, $504 million. Yeah, you're probably if you times that by 6 as well, it's smashed out of the park.
But what I'm hearing here is we could have had Aladdin and another 5 decent cartoons for the same price as this shitty fucking remake.
Yeah.
Sorry, Will Smith, I do like you, but what?
Also, the question is with which version do you remember the most? That's the question, isn't it? Because they're trying to replace all these old. I mean, they've done it with all the original classics, haven't they? As well, all the animated classics. You know, and you think, which ones do you remember? Do you remember the original 101 Dalmatians, or do you remember the one with Jeff Daniels? It was Jeff Daniels.
I remember the cartoon, definitely. Yeah. A bigger impact on me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But that's the trouble, isn't it? People want these remakes.
Nice one, gentlemen. Do you have any comments about music?
No, everybody's gone.
That's all right. Well, in which case, let's crack on to our Bill Murray retrospective. Now, Bill Murray is a character that we talk about quite a lot on the show. He's a very fond, very fond memories of Bill Murray and Bill Murray films and his sort of life story and things like that. He's an eccentric character. And so we thought we'd have a proper sort of deep dive retrospective into his life and films and projects and things like that. Because he's not your regular Hollywood sort of superstar, is he? Doesn't really sort of fill that space. He does a lot of indie films.
Okay, right. Did you know what gets me about Bill Murray? And I really think this is interesting, is why he does the same thing as Chevy Chase and plays characters where he admits to be an arsehole. Mm-hmm. But Chevy Chase always comes out looking like a wanker, and Bill Murray always looks awesome.
So it's funny because I was watching an interview from a few years ago. I was talking to Lumb about it. You've both probably seen it, but it's an interview with Howard Stern where Chevy Chase is asked about the fist fight he had with Bill Murray when Chevy Chase came back to do Saturday Night Live. And basically, it's a really interesting and revealing chat, actually, where Chevy Chase is Chevy Chase, and you feel like he's perhaps not giving you all of the story. You know, certainly painting himself in a much nicer light. But basically, it was he went in. He'd heard that Bill Murray had been sort of bad mouthing him and saying bad things about him, and he just couldn't take it anymore. Went backstage into Bill Murray's dressing room, and I basically just started having a go at him, like, you son of a bitch, having a go. What were you saying about me? Blah, blah, blah. And Bill Murray just didn't give a shit and just charged Chevy Chase there and then in the doorway. Meanwhile, Belushi was sat there, like, shocked because it was him that had spread all these rumors. And so he jumps up and he's holding these two guys apart. And Chevy Chase is sort of painting himself as a former boxer, you know, streetwise boxing, you know, good street fighter champion, but he's like, he credits Bill Murray as being hard as nails and like just not the sort of person you would ever want to get in a fight with. And it's just quite an interesting sort of how.
Pretty sure I could take him now.
Probably could. But it's interesting. But it is interesting that they have this feud yet, and they do have quite similar characteristics. Yet Bill Murray is just and has rumors of Bill Murray being very difficult to work with. I mean, if you obviously
I've heard tales of him really, really upsetting cast members and things,
well, the
and being quite mean to
Harold
people.
Ramis. I mean, Harold Ramis just wouldn't let it go. He was very candid about their fallout.
I think Andy McDowell in Groundhog Day, Andy McDowell was like, why does this guy get to fucking win at the end? He's such an arsehole. The lesson isn't here, oh, this arsehole learns how to be a nice person, so he's released from Groundhog Day. Because he doesn't change that much. He cheats his way around the system.
Yeah, but from what I've heard about Andy McDowell, she's the last person to make that comment about
Well,
people.
yeah, possibly so. So, I mean, I guess you have to take a lot of these rumours with a pinch of...
and also, you've got to remember...
I mean, as you brought it up, should we talk about Groundhog Day first?
You got to, yeah, exactly. So you got to remember...
I feel like we've already talked about this.
But there's some other things that have happened with... The thing with Groundhog Day is that his personal life was in tatters when he was making this film. I mean, I know a lot of people are crediting the fallout with him and Ramis. I mean, they didn't speak for 21 years after this film.
I think his wife had left him, hadn't she?
They were going. He was going through a horrible divorce, but people credit it as the fact that Bill Murray wanted this to be a serious kind of quite philosophical film, and Ramis wanted to play it for the laughs. And as it went on, it was obvious it was being played as a comedy. But actually, that's not necessarily the point. It is the fact that Bill Murray was just an arsehole because his personal life was in tatters. And to the point where Harold Ramis had sat him down and insisted that he gets a PA just because he was late all the time. He never knew what he was doing or anything like that. So he was like, get a PA. So Bill Murray went out and hired himself a deaf PA. It was just like just to piss everybody off, and it's just like wow.
It's amazing these things. It's amazing these things turn out well, because if you just watch the film, you wouldn't have a hint of any of that, would you?
No,
I love this film. I honestly, I think it's great. Regardless of the lesson, like you say, Webb end, but I think it's a great film. And I'm not a fan of Andy McDowell. I've got to say, I've never.
No, me neither. No.
And even in this film, I think she's all right in it. I'd rather have had somebody else in it, like Karen Allen.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a film that is used quite often as well in like there's quite a lot of priests and preachers and synagogue, like in synagogues and things like that, where they would use this film. Monks to be able to like teach life lessons. I mean, it has. Bill Murray wanted it to be quite a philosophical film, and it has actually, as time goes on, very much done that. But the thing about this film as well, like they that was the end of their working relationship, and Bill Murray never really spoke about it, but Harold Ramis did, and that's how we know so much about kind of their fallout. And it wasn't until Harold Ramis got the autoimmune disease that he had, the virus that he had, that Bill Murray was kind of convinced to go and speak to him. And then obviously when he won an Oscar, he talked about Harold Ramis, and it was very, very emotional. But when the musical came out of Groundhog Day, Bill Murray went to see it and reportedly was just in floods of tears, sat in the audience watching it. He just absolutely loved it. He thought it was beautiful. So yeah, it feels like there may be some regrets there on the part of Murray.
Well, they made up with him, didn't he? At the end, he made up with him.
They did, but yeah. But
so a couple of weeks ago, I started watching Stripes, which I'd never seen before, which obviously predates most of these movies.
Film.
Ghostbusters. I haven't finished it yet. I've still got about halfway through because for me, if I'd have seen this in the right order and I've seen Stripes and then Police Academy.
I
would have realised how much they took from Police Academy, how much Police Academy took from this movie. But what I found really striking about it was there ever a point in Bill Murray's life where he had a full head of hair? Because this is like 1979 or something like that, and it's like he's just always been an old ass looking.
It's not 79, is it? It's 80.
I don't know. I don't know. 81 or something. I don't know, but anyway, the point is, even when I was 28, if I was watching a film with Bill Murray as a 28-year-old in it, I can't see myself as being the same age as Bill Murray. Even now, you know what I mean? Even now, when I watch Bill Murray, when I watch Groundhog Day, I know how old would he have been when he made Groundhog Day, Lummy?
Well, 93, I think, Groundhog Day. So, good God. Is it going to be about 40?
40-ish? So maybe it's same age as me. Now, when I watched that
He was
film...
born in 1950.
1950, so 1990. So that's
So
40, yeah, 40 odd.
43, you know?
Almost same age as me, right? I don't look at that film and think, I'm looking at a guy that's the same age as me. I think, how come I feel like I'm younger than Bill Murray? Do you know what I mean? It's just weird. I watch these adults, and you grow past that age, and yet I still watch Home Alone. And to me, Kevin McAllister's brother is still
feels older than you.
threat. Yeah, it still feels older than me, and it still feels slightly threatening. I'm like, why am I scared of this fucking teenager? Yeah, I've always been crap at that. I've always been crap at that. I didn't know it was Tim Curry in the Rocky Horror Show for years and years because I can't see people when they're in makeup. I just literally can't tell it's that person.
Do you know when we used to do them things at college, did you think they were all different people or players and things? You're like, oh, these guys?
Why is he talking like me?
Yeah. Why is he talking to me like he knows me? Who is it?
Talking to me like exactly.
Did you
like
think all those soldiers in Jesus Christ were real?
I didn't. I'm not saying that I thought that Jack Nicholson, when he plays the Joker, what I'm saying is I know that's Jack Nicholson. But when I was a kid, especially, I could not see anything past the Joker makeup.
You were completely absorbed into the story and the narrative.
I could not have picked him out of a lineup. You know
I get
what I mean?
that. I get that.
So,
what's your favourite Bill Murray film? Do you think?
Now, hang on. We did best and worst Bill Murray.
Yours was Life Aquatic, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, definitely. However, what I've realised since then is there's actually quite a few films that I haven't seen of Bill Murray's that are quite recent. Quite recent ones, and I wanted to know if either of you had seen any of them as a point of recommendations. Because the first one I noticed that I haven't seen is On the Rocks. It came out last year. Have you seen that yet, Lumb?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's what's the name in it?
Rashida Jones out of Parks and Rec and The Office.
I got there's it was okay. It's worth a watch. It's not. It's just like he plays a dad, and they've got a bit of a bumpy relationship. Yeah, it's.
Having said that, I'll give it a watch anyway because I like him. I want to see it.
Yeah. I've got a recommendation. If you like Rashida Jones, what's it called? There's some Angela Tribeca. It's called. I recommended it to a guy I know, who's American guy, and he told me about it. I'd never heard of it, and I watched a few episodes. It's like Police Squad with Rashida Jones as a copper and all the same gags.
You know Bill Murray's in that, don't you?
He's in one episode. I haven't watched it yet. That episode.
Yeah, he's in it. Because also, I've just noticed, this is the other thing I want to ask you. Have you ever seen any of, oh, God, what's the guy from This Is the End called? Danny McBride. Have you ever seen any of his TV shows? Eastbound and Down and stuff. Bill Murray's in Vice Principals as well, which I really enjoyed Eastbound and Down. That was a fucking brilliant show. So I'm thinking with him being attached to the writing of this as well, Vice Principals might be worth a shot. Bill Murray's in that as well. But there's a couple of things that I've not seen. Never saw Rock the Casbah or another film which actually looks really good called Aloha, which has got Bradley Cooper, Emma Stone, Rachel McAdams, Bill Murray, John Krasinski, Danny McBride again, and Alec Baldwin. I've never heard of this. Never heard of it, but the premise sounds really cool. A celebrated military contractor returns to the site of his greatest career triumphs and reconnects with a long-ago love while unexpectedly falling for the hard-changing Air Force watchdog assigned to him. I think that sounds all right, man. Yeah, Aloha. It's pretty good cast for a film that nobody's seen, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd mention there's a couple that are now. I feel like I'm going to chase them down. The most recent Bill Murray films that he's made that I saw were Zombieland 2.
I loved his cameo in that. That was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
And I Love Dogs, where he did the voice. And oh my God, it's gone. It's gone from my mind.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
No, this is really
Did either of you see the trailer for Zombieland 2?
No.
No.
No, I'm not sure if I saw the trailer.
I'm just wondering whether it spoilt the fact that Bill Murray was in that film, because I didn't see the trailer in it, but I think it would have been, because it was such a lovely surprise. That was one of the beautiful things about that film, is that when Bill Murray just turned up in this cameo of himself.
But he does that in the first film, doesn't he? But I can't remember him doing it in the second film.
Does he do it? Is it just the
It's
first
in
one?
the first film. Yeah, it might be just
Sorry,
the
not the
first
second one. Sorry, not the second one. The first film. Did you see the
That's
trailer
a
for
great
that?
cameo. Yeah, where they go to Hollywood and living in some big ass mansion, and Bill Murray shows up.
Yeah, and Bill Murray wants to play the practical joke where he's going to pretend to be a zombie, and then Lex Luthor kills him. Yeah. It's, sorry, my cultural references mixed up there.
Quite an odd choice was the Dead Don't Die, which is him and Adam Driver playing a couple of cops in it. Oh, it's a strange.
Now I saw that a couple of weeks ago. Now there's so much about that film that is so good, but then it just goes. It turns into. It just kind of. Okay, imagine that you're watching a film, right? And as the film goes on, suddenly they just take a couple of the lights out, and then one of the actors just drops their accent, and then suddenly, like, the boom guy just kind of swings his boom mic in front of the camera. It's like this film just starts falling apart, but like in a planned way towards the end. Like it's kind of like this Brechtian kind of, don't get
There's
too
that bit where they're
the
sitting in
story.
the police car having a chat, and he says to him something about.
You got more lines than me. How do you know? Because I've read the script.
I've read the script, and it's
I didn't get the full
script. You got the full script.
Now that's the thing that annoys me. That's the bit that annoys me about that film, because you say so basically goes, we die in the end, and he's like, what? How do you know? He goes, well, I got the script. I read the full script. You got the full script. I only got the bits that I'm in. Now that's the bit that annoys me, because he'd know if he was dying then if he only got the scenes that he was in. So that's just, it kind of doesn't quite.
It's a bit of an odd thing to do, in it. Really, it's a bit. It's a ballsy thing to do.
But there's so much about the film that's really good.
This is a bit of an odd director you're talking about.
Yeah,
Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah,
I've never fully enjoyed one of his films, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm not getting the joke that other people are getting. I'm not sure. It was in another one by Jim Jarmusch called Broken Flowers, which is the most fucking depressing.
There you go.
Yeah.
I watched that. I was like...
You know what? It was like About Schmidt or something like that, but not as
good as it gets.
Sorry, As Good as It Gets, which About Schmidt then tries to be like, and then Broken Flowers. And there's a few films that try to go for that angle, but they don't nail it. And
everybody went to see About Schmidt because they thought it were another As Good as It Gets, didn't they? They went, oh, here we go again. And they went in and went, what? It's like, anyway.
Now, don't get me wrong, Jack Nicholson is fucking amazing in it, but he's the only noteworthy thing in it. It's awful. You're not meant to like him, are you? He's a bit of a prick, is Schmidt, but he plays him really well.
Yeah.
But I mean...
What's your favourite Murray film then?
My favourite?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ghostbusters. I mean, it's
got to be on it. It's got to be.
But
although strong,
I haven't seen Life Aquatic. Scrooged is just stunning.
And also, when we do the best and worsts, we generally say, well, if you're picking that, we can't all have that. So
yeah,
we would probably
exactly. We want to spread out the thing. But Scrooged is brilliant.
as well. You can't believe that they didn't get on, him and Richard Donner. They hated each other on set.
Really?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Really?
When you watch the film, you won't think, you can't tell anyway, can you? You watch your film with cut it and everything. But yeah, apparently, like, they didn't get on. He wanted a different... There's actually, I downloaded a version of the script that is totally different, and it's got huge chunks taken out. But we should try and do a reading of it one night. That'd be great.
Yeah.
This episode, let's do a reading of the full script of Scrooge.
I think that would make a really good pre-record, actually. That we can edit together and just release as standalone. That'd be fun.
Is it a case that Richard Donner didn't want Bill Murray to ad-lib?
I think, well, he wrote the script with Michael O'Donoghue, who used to write on Saturday Night Live with him, and this other guy, and they put, like, it was... You know, they had loads of side stories and loads more jokes in it and stuff. And I think Richard Donner came and, like, just ripped it all away and took. But you start reading the script, you're like, shit. I can see where the scenes are that are in the film, but there's all this extra stuff as well, all the way through it.
Lummy, do it. Do your best line from Scrooge. Do it.
Best line from Scrooge? I don't know.
Yeah. Can you do a Bill Murray impression?
No, can't do Bill Murray.
Not necessarily that, but you occasionally. What was it? Stapling. There's something to do with stapling the mouse.
Oh, that's not the best.
No, I
That's
can't
not the best
remember.
line.
You used to have a best line.
I'll have to have a
Never
think.
mind. Put you on the spot. But I really appreciate the fact that, clearly Bill Murray never makes it easy to work with people. But he really has made an effort to branch out into films that are very, very different and very stand out. Considering how many films he did that were back to back, the same fucking character for like 25 years. He really has broken against that Bill Murray sarcasm stream and just decided to do so many take so many little chances and made so many little lovely relationships. Like apparently he really gets on with Wes Anderson and
Woody Harrelson, which is why he did Zombieland. Apparently Woody Harrelson's just a huge Bill Murray fan and they struck up a really good sort of bond and friendship.
And what's her name? Sophia Coppola.
Oh really?
Yeah. And
what did you think of Lost in Translation?
And Jim Jarmusch as well.
Yeah. What did you think of Lost in Translation?
I haven't
It's a
seen
lovely
it.
film. Really?
No.
That surprises me.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
It's really lovely, Rich.
It was at a time when I was really struggling to watch sentimental films.
Well, it's not sentimental. It's just lovely.
Yeah,
it's not particularly sentimental. It's quite.
What you've been so
it's
sentimental
quite hard
about it?
Because it's like two strangers, one who's a young woman and one who's an older actor.
Is that the first film that Johansson were in?
No, she was in loads of stuff as a kid.
She was in stuff when
about the horse whisperer and shit like
that.
Yeah.
She was in Ghost World, wasn't she, as well with that?
Yeah, she did quite a few films.
No, you're right, yeah.
But it was one of the films that added a lot of credos to her resume.
Yeah.
It's sort of up to that next level where now she started getting hired by all kinds of indie directors. Didn't do it, but things like Ghost World did her a massive favour as well. Because cult-wise, Ghost World's a really popular indie comic book.
Right.
So making choices like that were wise for her.
I mean, we've got some.
He gets away with murder, mate. I mean, he's been in some shit as well, but he gets away with murder.
But as a
Space Jam, Charlie's Angels.
Whoa! Leave Space Jam alone.
Wait a minute. Hang on. You're mentioning these too fast. There you go. Wait, you're going too fast. Let's talk about this stuff.
Keep up, old timer.
Space Jam.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
In this movie as himself. He's totally like, yeah, I'm Bill Murray. I'm just going to show up. What are you going to do?
Play golf.
Guy's
going, yeah, all right.
What else did you say then? I missed that. Charlie's Angels.
Garfield, Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels.
The Garfield story is my favourite one, though.
Well, hang on. The Charlie's Angels, he had a massive fallout with Lucy Liu, didn't he, on that? He said she was terrible, talentless.
Brilliant example of where he went too far and was really, really horrible to somebody.
What did he do? What did he say?
Just said she was a terrible actress, didn't she? I think, and really insulted
it. He made it a race thing as well. I think he made it about being.
No,
He did. So. I read it the other day. I'll find out while you guys are.
Okay, so I love the Garfield story. The idea that Bill Murray doesn't have an agent and he just has a private answer phone that is a fairly secret number, 1-800 number that people can phone, leave him a pitch, then send him a script. Then he'll get back to you, and then you'll have a meeting, and then he'll kind of take it from there. And it's kind of a way for anyone to kind of pitch ideas to him. And the amount of projects that he's missed out on because he didn't, kind of pick up the message in time, or the time he picked up the message from Joel Cohen and was like, yeah, the Coen brothers, brilliant. Garfield, awesome. And just, got the wrong.
I mean, why didn't he research that? As if the Coen brothers are going to make Garfield.
I know, man.
But don't you remember, right, that this is Bill Murray's actually linked to Garfield way earlier than people remember. Because when Real Ghostbusters came out and they really desperately wanted Bill Murray to do the voice Peter Venkman, and they picked a guy that sounded a little bit like him, And then they made a Garfield cartoon and they wanted Bill Murray for the voice of Garfield. He said, no fucking way. And they hired the same guy from Real Ghostbusters to do the Bill Murray type voice.
Dude, it was the other way around. They already did Garfield's way before Real Ghostbusters.
Sorry, yeah, other way around then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Lorenzo Music, I think his name is.
That's a weird name, isn't it?
Yeah,
strange
I think that's
Lorenzo
it.
Music. All right. Anyway, just go to this Lucy Liu Bill Murray thing. So, according to Lucy Liu, the altercation stemmed from a scene that had been tweaked in Charlie's Angels without Bill Murray knowing. She went on to detail how, when filming the scene, Bill Murray began to insult her. I won't get into specifics, she said, but it kept going on. And I was like, wow, he just seems to be looking straight at me, said Lou, who at the time was just beginning to break into Hollywood. When she asked Murray point blank if he was talking to her, she realized he clearly was, because it then started becoming a one-on-one communication. Calling Murray's language inexcusable and unacceptable, the actress confirmed how she stood up for herself. She put, no matter how low on the totem pole you may be or wherever you came from, there's no need to condescend or to put people down, she continued. And I would not stand down, and I'm glad I didn't, and nor should I have. So, yeah.
It doesnn't say that there were any racial overtones.
No, it doesn't. I made that shit up, didn't I? Clearly.
Okay. Cool. No. But I am glad that you checked that so that we didn't, because I was like, no, I can't imagine Bill Murray being. It kind of seems to go against.
I think I've got the personal thing mixed up with a race thing.
With a racial thing.
Yeah. I just checked out the Real Ghostbusters voice. I was right about that name, but also Winston Zedmore, played by Arsenio Hall.
Really? Wow.
And Ernie Hudson auditioned. Ernie Hudson auditioned for Winston. They didn't give him
the part to play his own voice.
Oh, yeah, that's awful.
I mean, what the hell?
Arsenio Hall was quite a big star at the time. He had his own chat show. He was in a couple of Eddie Murphy projects. That surprises me that they could afford him and not Winston. Oh, wow. You know what I mean? That they paid extra money for somebody that, I don't know, doesn't sound like the original guy. How strange. Who did the voice of Slimer? Because I'd like to go to Hollywood and give him a little slap.
I don't know.
So the project for me, and I know we talked about it on the best and worst, but the one that I just can't get my head round, and I know he's done some flops and some films that have been sort of more passion projects that he made. I know earlier on in his career as well, where he made enough money to be able to then go and create little indie films where he got the rights to books that he was really fond of. Razor's Edge being one, yeah, exactly. It's a very Murray Christmas. The Netflix release. Yeah. Do either of you understand it?
Well, it was directed by Sofia Coppola, so just the friendship of that. After doing Lost in Translation, they said, let's do a Christmas special. But I was looking forward to this.
What was the premise of it? Yeah, well, Nathan and I sat and went to watch it at Christmas.
I was really looking forward to it as well.
What is this?
I can picture exactly what happened. His old friend, my telephone, my private weird numbers going, it's Sofia Coppola. Guess what? Netflix have just offered to pay us $3 million each to just shit out a fart. That's what happened. He's not fucking made of stone. If they're going to offer him money to do some dog shit, he's probably going to end up doing it. He's not everything he does is perfect.
I know, but when he's turned down so many awesome roles.
Yeah, and sometimes he seems really generous. For example, in a couple of these Wes Anderson projects, even the bigger ones, he's barely in them. He's in Darjeeling Limited, and you blink and you miss it. He's a guy running up a fucking train platform in India. And you see him for about 10 seconds in the film. The same in the Grand Budapest Hotel. He plays a concierge. He's maybe got 3 lines in the film. He doesn't take the big role, but he gets a pretty packet for it. Does that make any sense? He gets a lot of money for it, basically what I'm saying. Just for being in these things for 5 minutes. Weirdly enough, Rich, you know what? I've just realised about why he's so private. And it's because of a name that you said. He's friends with that Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
So I reckon Bill Murray likes smoking pot. And he just keeps himself to himself. And he does what he needs to do when he needs to do it. I reckon he's a pothead, and he's not a well-known pothead like Woody Harrelson or Matthew McConaughey is. But I think that could be the connection there and why they get on. Why he gets on with certain people.
He's a bit of a what do you call it? Like a Zen head, like a relaxation person. Only Bill Murray likes his. He went away, didn't he, and researched all that.
When he actually went away, he went away and studied philosophy in Paris as well after the flop of one of his films. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been.
And he's a massive Hunter S. Thompson fan because he played him in a movie.
And nearly died during the film as well. He got thrown in a swimming pool tied to a chair and nearly drowned. It's just crazy shit. It's the roles that he's turned down. It's the roles he's turned down that always amaze me, and the crossovers between him and
there you go, Buffalo Rome on it. Where the Buffalo
Rome, that's it. Yeah, the roles he's turned down, and the similarities between the roles offered to him and Tom Hanks as well. But he was considered to be in the Tom Cruise role in Rain Man, which he turned down. He was the first choice to play Willie Stokes in Bad Santa. Philadelphia.
That film would be shit without Billy Bob
Thornton. Oh yeah, totally. But these decisions were good decisions.
Film,
like Philadelphia, supposed to be in Philadelphia. The Dead Zone, Cape Fear, Forrest Gump. I mean, that's supposed to play Forrest Gump.
Talked about some of these before. It's really interesting to imagine a world.
I don't think you see like Forrest Gump just would
not have worked. No, he was considered for the role of Han Solo by George Lucas.
Yeah, he was considered for the role of Forrest Gump's mum, just to turn it on its head. You don't like to do easy stuff. I'm going to do. Oh, it could have been Lieutenant Dan. Who knows? I did see something. Oh, it was on that Movies That Made Us the other week with Gary Sinise talking about getting the part of Lieutenant Dan. That was quite interesting as well.
Yeah. Batman instead of Michael Keaton. I'm trying to work out how that 1989 Batman film would have been with.
In a crazy alternate reality that exists, doesn't it? Like we've talked about before.
It does. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see it, but I would have put him more as a Joker rather than a Batman.
Same here. He was the first, I didn't realise he was the first choice for the Eddie Valiant role in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, and he didn't answer his phone. Didn't answer the phone and missed out on it.
It'd have been brilliant in that. Yeah. It'd have been absolutely brilliant.
It's like, you sure about this 1-800 number, Bill? Is that? Yeah.
He said in an interview, I think, that he was really good about that one because he'd have loved to have done it. Well, that's why you've got Space Jam instead.
I tell you what else you might know about. Not know about Bill Murray. Bill Murray was the first choice to play Black Panther as well.
You're just being silly now, Webb. If you can't,
the first.
I gotta say that's wrong. That's wrong.
I feel like we're going to be using Stanley a lot.
I like the Stanley. I like it.
I like it. It just tells it.
Correction. Yeah, he should come on and correct our facts for us.
I like how he just tells it straight. You know, he don't piss about. He just comes in and out. And have you seen this film? What About Bob? Apparently,
I love this fucking film.
It's great. Him and Dreyfus didn't get on at all.
I know. This is a contender for the best one. Definitely.
Frank Oz as well, isn't it?
I always forget about it. It's a contender.
Frank Oz,
his
great film.
Performance in this is amazing. Baby steps. Baby steps. Have you never seen this, Rich?
No, but I just got distracted by the fact that Bill Murray was up for Chevy Chase's role, Dusty Bottoms, in The Three Amigos.
Yeah,
which makes sense. It makes sense.
Spielberg was going to direct it.
Right, it makes sense. It makes sense. You know, it really does. But again, it's that.
I hate to say it, but I would rather see Chevy Chase in. I can't imagine anything different, even with Chevy Chase.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's just interesting how their careers.
Yeah. But what about Bob? You need to watch it. It's great,
mate. You do. Okay. In fact, out of all the back catalogue stuff, mate, that is a missing one from your life, I think.
Okay, it's cool. I've actually never heard
of
it.
Not particularly original, but it's great.
Dreyfus.
Great.
Dreyfus is good as well.
Dreyfus' wife in it. Is it the same wife for an Airplane?
Yes. Yeah.
Julie.
He was also offered that role as well in Airplane. The lead role in Airplane.
The wife.
Yeah.
It's offered a lot of wives, doesn't it?
No, the nun that gets slapped. So this film. So what about Bob? It's cost $39 million, which is quite a lot in 1991, and it took $63.7 million in the box office. So more than double. No, just under double.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's worth watching, definitely.
Oh man, I saw it
Dr.
in the pictures.
Leonard.
Really?
Oh, I love
Wowzers. I don't know how this has completely skipped me by.
Yeah.
Great fucking film, man. I don't know where you better track it down, but it's a really, really. It's not even the most original story. You've seen this sort of story before, a house guest that won't go home sort of thing. But it's just fucking brilliantly executed. It's got that proper late 80s, early 90s feel, like that Home Alone feel. Do you know what I mean? That just, it's a wonderful film. I love it.
Is it another Zemeckis film, or is it? No, it's
it might be
Frank
Zemeckis.
Oz. Frank Oz.
Frank Oz, yeah.
I mean, Frank Oz. Frank Oz has made some great films. You know, when you start thinking about his filmography, he's made some really good stuff.
That's a future retrospective right there, boys.
I love him. I think, not only was he half the fucking Muppets, he's a legend. There would be no Muppets without him.
No. What do you reckon to Caddyshack then? We've nailed a lot of these now.
I don't like that movie.
I really like it. I know we've had this chat.
Yeah, we've done it.
I just like the fact that in 6 days he improvised his entire thing. And there's a little bit where the more I hear about kind of turning up, sucking off the script, and just being allowed to play, I mean, Lummy, you've got to appreciate as somebody who's a professional improver that's a talent. That's an incredible to put on such a defined performance as he did in Caddyshack. I mean, the character's incredible. It's funny. It's committed. Probably needed committing. But I don't know where you draw the line at genius and arrogant shit.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? When you turn up for a project,
the thing is, it's for me. It's got that. His role in Caddyshack has got a lot of that. What's Adam Sandler doing? You know what I mean? Well, is he actually taking the mickey out of special needs people by putting on a silly voice? I can't tell where the line is, and it leaves me feeling a bit uncomfortable. And I feel like it's beneath him. Do you know what I mean? Because I've seen him do better.
That thing he does though, that character does. He used to do on Saturday Night Live. That with Dan Aykroyd.
I know he did, and I didn't like it then.
Have you seen the Ghostbusters outtakes, the deleted scenes? They did a character with Dan Aykroyd as the Tramps.
Yeah, I saw it the other week.
Thank Christ they didn't put that in the film. It would have ruined the film.
Wow. Yeah, it's a bit trading places. They're walking down the street talking in really thick New York.
And he does that voice like that, like he does in I'm Carl the Groundskeeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dan Aykroyd's doing a voice like that. Oh, no.
Yeah, he's doing one of his Saturday Night Live voices, and I'm glad they took it out.
Oh, if they'd have kept that in the film, I don't think we'd be celebrating Ghostbusters.
Wow,
I think you might be right, yeah. That's a great example of how one idea can fucking ruin the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But where
doubling up characters just suspends the disbelief, doesn't it? You know.
Gittins, it's on the Ghostbusters Blu-ray. That's where I saw it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be able to find that somewhere.
There were a few more deleted scenes than I remember being on there. To be honest,
sure I'll be able to find that online somewhere.
Can I just say one thing? I don't know if I feel like you were about to wrap up, Rich, but I just wanted to.
No. I'm waiting for Lummy to come up with some more films. I know we haven't got, I know we've got quite a few films to probably get through.
We've got a few more.
No, we talked about a lot of them as well. Go on, Webby.
Okay.
What did you want to say? No, I wasn't getting ready to wrap up. Go on, Webby. What did you want to say?
Well, I'll leave it till the end then, because it's not related to. It's just jumping in the middle of Bill Murray.
No,
it's not related. It's just something I wanted to tell you guys about.
Ed Wood.
Oh yeah.
Great film.
Yeah.
Great film. Yeah.
Really good.
And
we talked about this briefly, didn't we?
Yeah.
We talked about that.
We're doing the Johnny Depp thing.
Talked about that.
I haven't seen this yet. I really want to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love it. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
I'm not a massive. I'm not a massive Wes Anderson fan though. I really feel like I should really love Wes Anderson's films, and I know that you adore most of his catalogue, but I just.
I think to me, man,
right?
It's a bit like
me about it.
There's a Kevin Smith line that really sums me up, and I can't explain anybody else's approach to things, but for me, this is completely true. If something annoys me and I don't understand it, I always remember that line from Mallrats where she says, "Understanding is reached only through confrontation." So if I don't understand something, I will just keep fucking banging my head up until I get. It's the same thing with a lot of music that I listen to that other people won't listen to. movies that I like that other people. It explains a lot about my understanding and my acceptance of most things. I don't make a decision. I'm not like, oh, I really, really hate sci-fi movies or I really hate westerns. Because if I like it, I like it. Do you know what I mean? There's no explanation to it other than I'm just tenacious with it. And Wes Anderson, he earned my praise. He earned my accolades. Because I misunderstood the Royal Tenenbaums the first time I saw it. I came out saying,
and maybe I did as well.
Shit. What a depressing piece of shit. And the second time I saw it, I couldn't fucking believe how good it was. I couldn't believe how funny it was. I couldn't believe that all these jokes had completely passed me by. I felt like a fucking idiot.
I think I love the casts that he assembles. I know we talk about Bill Murray, but obviously this is a Bill Murray film. I love the cast that Wes Anderson assembles, and I think the cinematography and stylistically is an absolute genius. And I'm acutely aware that I'm missing something, that this isn't a fault with Wes Anderson. I'm missing something. But maybe if I give Fantastic Mr. Fox, a story that I'm familiar with and really enjoy, and with Bill Murray in it, who I adore, I'm just wondering whether that might be something that swings it. Grand Budapest Hotel, again, couldn't get into it. Just couldn't get into it.
If you can't get into that, then I'd say you've got a problem with
Wes Anderson.
You're gonna have a problem because that is the quintessential. It's the one where everything he's been trying to do for years all comes together in one nice neat package. It's absolutely beautiful farce. But I think I just gave him a chance, and I started to see more and more. And it just so happens that he's now created 5 or 6 of some of my favorite films.
I just
not always. I'm always let down by people like him and the Coen brothers, where they don't live up to what I'm expecting, and they have. It's not perfect. So you just said a lot of the good things that that one should like about Wes Anderson, right? But there are some downsides as well. I can't forgive. I mean, I could forgive anybody for thinking that Wes Anderson is overblown, arty-farty, fucking wanker, because he totally seems like that. He totally does. However, for me, his talent outweighs that because he's very good at making films, and he's always something interesting to see on the screen with him. You know,
the thing I find with Wes Anderson, when you try and do a yawn, but you can't do a full yawn, it's like a half a yawn, and it's just ultimately unsatisfying. That's what I feel about Wes Anderson films. I'm sat there watching it, going, "There's so much about this to appreciate, but it's not quite getting me over the edge." I'm just don't. It's frustrating, and I'm convinced it's an issue with me, not Wes Anderson. Or maybe the films. I don't know.
The thing is, what he tends to do is lampoon the right areas that I'm interested in. He takes the piss out of the right interest. So he takes the piss out of people that think they're upper class, people who think they're more intelligent than you are, and he shows them up for being fucking just as shit as we are, just as fallible as we are. And I really like that aspect to him, and he does that especially in Royal Tenenbaums. That's about a family of child geniuses that things have just gone completely wrong. You know what I mean? He does it in Life Aquatic. You've got this failed Jacques Cousteau character who nobody's taken serious for years, who's looking for a fish that is not meant to exist. But then you've got it. Look at that cast. You've got everybody in it working the hardest around him to make it work. And it's just. Do you know what it is? It's not another Fast and Furious.
That was a film that Bill Murray learned to scuba dive on.
Yeah, but also it's something just a bit more interesting than generic. Let's get people going into the cinema to see the same shit we've seen for years. There's always something different. Same as
it's the difference between a director making something for themselves than going, oh, the audience will love this,
Yeah,
like
and for me, I cannot hand on heart say that I could enjoy a director like Taika Waititi, because without Wes Anderson, there'd be no Taika Waititi. The guy fucking loves him. He's his role model when it comes to making a movie. That perfect blend of completely strange, off-kilter things happening.
Now,
really
it's funny
vicious undercurrent of humor, like that worms its way through everything, And I fucking hate Wes Anderson if he went and did a Marvel movie. Taika Waititi can get away with that because that's something he's good at.
And the thing, I love Taika Waititi. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Hunt for the Wilder People is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and you can argue as well that it's independent cinema.
Film.
So without people that I don't like, there would be no Wes Anderson. There'd be no.
What's the kid in it called? Ricky
Tomlinson.
I can't remember his second name.
Ricky James? No, Ricky.
We've gone a bit off topic now, haven't we? We've kind of
Yeah. Bill Murray, he's really lucky. He's really fortunate that he's found this sort of in his later years. He's just found this vein of showing up and do whatever he wants. And if it's a flop, nobody seems to go on about him. Nobody seems to say to Bill Murray all the time, well, what about that stinker movie you made? Nobody. They're just like, I think it's because they're afraid of him saying, do you want this interview or not? Do you want me to talk? I'm fucking showed up to talk to you, didn't I? You're going to try and bring me down? I think they're scared of how he would bring them down.
What else we got with me?
He's got that attitude though of he don't give a fuck anyway, hasn't he? So
no, that's one of my favourite.
But that's the improv. That's the improv thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Definitely. It really is.
You've got a lot of that actually, Lummy, as well.
Well, you get on with it. That's what he's trained to do, isn't he? He used to do Second City, so he'll go in with that attitude as I want to improvise, and then there's room to improvise.
Yeah, one of my favourite, and kind of speaking about just not really giving a shit, one of my favourite Bill Murray stories, I know we talked about it in the best and worst a few weeks ago, but it is that story of him just sneaking up behind somebody in a Wendy's, stealing their chips and just whispering in their ear, no one will ever believe that Bill Murray did this. And then just walking off. It's fucking great. I mean, that is.
See, I'm wondering if with this 1-800 number, he's basically just been really clever and in his own ways marketed himself as this
that would be
aloof, untouchable, eccentric, hard to reach. You know what I mean? To purport that mysterious feeling of like, why has he showed up to do this movie? It's just adding more to his own legend, and he knows what he's doing with it. And I think fair play to him. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. But then I feel that's kind of similar to Joe Gilgun, who is infamously really difficult to get in touch with. Difficult to, like, when he got the job on Preacher, they got in touch with his agent, said, yeah, we want him to do it. And they were like, okay, cool. And then a few weeks later, they're like, so is he doing it? And they're like, oh, we haven't been able to get in touch with him yet. Like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, he doesn't own a mobile phone. What? He doesn't own a mobile phone. No, you just have to wait. That's kind of like, okay, sure. That's the way we'll do things then. We really want to do this part.
There is a difference as well, though. I don't think Joe Gilgun has got that streak of arrogant confidence that Bill Murray has.
I think Joe Gilgun's got a lot of insecurity and self-awareness.
Self-doubt. He's well aware of his own mental state. He knows, from interviews I've seen with him, he knows he's flawed and he doesn't think he is the man. There's
a beautiful interview with Joe Gilgun actually on the Two Shot podcast with the guy. Sorry, I totally interrupted you then, Webby. I'm so sorry.
All right, I think I know the one you mean, and it's a good
with the guy who played Doc Cotton in Line of Duty. Because Simsy, my mate Joe, has been interviewed by him as well. It's a great interview, but it's a two-parter with Joe Gilgun, and it's awesome. Excellent.
Yeah, he's great. He did a couple of bits in lockdown as well, where he figured out Zoom and he had a few online interviews. Really interesting. But yeah, I mean, they've got similarities in that they're really supremely talented and actively search out projects that they've been in just for the bit that they show up in. Joe Gilgun's on your TV screen. You know what I mean? You just can't wait to watch him.
I agree.
He's great.
I agree. What else we got, Lummy?
Well, we're going to do a Ghostbusters special, aren't we, at some point? So
we are going to do a Ghostbusters special. What date is Ghostbusters 3 out? Do we know?
It is. I can tell you.
Go on.
I can tell you.
I just wish that was a Ghostbusters diary. It's like,
wait a minute.
2001 diary,
Ghostbusters dates.
Ghostbusters Afterlife, Thursday the 11th of November.
Cool.
First day we're there. First day we are there.
Whoa. Friday the 11th of November. 11th of November.
I've got my mini backup diary just in case.
Webby, when's the wedding?
That's not then.
I told you we're not getting married anymore, mate. Can't
Not until Ghostbusters.
It's just that I'm aware that
that's 27th of November on the Saturday.
How do you know?
Because I've got everything in my diary.
How the fuck do you know that, though?
How
I
do
don't
you
even
know that?
What do you mean?
I'm the best man, and I don't know that.
It's
He's
2 weeks
married,
after. 2 weeks after Ghostbusters.
Is that what everything is? Right. That,
Yeah.
in your mind, everything is this. Okay. 3 weeks before Ghostbusters, pick up dry cleaning. 4 weeks
It's
after
2
Ghostbusters.
3 Saturdays after Ghostbusters, your wedding.
I like it. So when are we doing this? 27th of November, AG. Sorry, what?
No,
After
North
Ghostbusters.
North Leeds Cricket Club, 7 p.m. till late.
No, different.
Oh,
When's
bless you, Lummy. That's not the wedding, that's the wedding party.
Oh.
Yeah, we have to have it a week later because we're poor.
Oh, well, you enjoy your fucking wedding. Well, I'm coming at thing because it's in my diary, so...
Mate, there's a strong chance Gittins won't be able to pull his finger out and get up for it, so I'll just get you in. Okay.
It's all right. I'm used to getting things by default, so I accept.
This is the threat he keeps making every time I'm like...
I've been best man twice, you know. I can do it.
I've been best man once and they got divorced.
Yeah. Well, I've been twice, and yeah, one of them didn't end well.
There's no point in getting married if you're just going to get divorced, is there?
So what else have we got, Lummy? Bill Murray wise.
Let's have a look. We've got Jungle Book, which you mentioned already.
Yeah, it's a good blue.
Ties in. We've got Sleeper Hit Kingpin.
Kingpin, so where he scored where he got the triple. What's it called when you get 3 strikes in a row? No, you get 3 in a row. It's Turkey, and he got that. Yeah, I think it is, and he got it for real life on the when they filmed it. So that reaction you see in Kingpin, where the crowd go nuts, and he's on the floor going. It's a genuine reaction from all of them. You just you got.
Well, it was all right, Kingpin. Wasn't it? It was kind of a. Came out of nowhere, and it's stinging it Farrelly Brothers, and yeah.
Woody Harrelson as well. You know.
Yeah.
Here we go. Do you think he heard Brothers on that, and he thought, "Oh, Coen Brothers"? Has
he ever been in a Coen Brothers film?
I don't think he actually has. No, but he pretty much would fit in any of them. I think.
Yeah.
You could have him in any of them. He's one of them guys.
Do you know what I'd like to see him do? A serial like hitman or something. You know, like a. I was going to say serial killer, but I meant like a hitman. You know, like Leon or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think he'd do good in that. I don't know why.
What, playing him in a typically aloof kind of hitman? So he's kind of sniper rifle together, but he's just kind of looking at something.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him play Santa, but not the bad Santa. Like a not quite so bad Santa, because I think kids would enjoy him as a Santa Claus.
A grumpy, cantankerous Santa. Cantankerous Santa.
But it doesn't have to have anal sex in the changing rooms or be drunk all the time. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to do any of that happens in Bad Santa.
Have you seen the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell?
No. I love it.
It's great.
A great one.
He's a great Santa. He's a great Santa. Both them films.
Was a bit shite.
Goldie Hawn's in that though. Goldie Hawn's in sequel. Come on.
Lummy, I know you love a Christmas movie. Did you see the one, the animated one about Klaus? The animated one about dude, you gotta watch it. It's fucking brilliant. It's got more in common with Prince of Egypt and
we'll do a Christmas special with all that.
New Groove. Oh, it's it's on Netflix. Klaus.
Here's one for you. We got a few more. Here's one for you.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, we've been through this shit.
I can't understand why he accepted this film. It's a bit odd.
Who directed it?
I know. But did he want to work with? Did he just think I want to work with an elephant?
It's got no direction, so probably no director.
It's really odd, isn't it? It's a really odd one. But another oddball. Where's that one? Which he directed, didn't he? Where is it? Quick Change. He directed this, didn't he?
I love that film.
I
actually like this film.
Yeah.
Gina Davis, Randy Quaid. You've never seen it?
No, I have seen it. I just haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, right. I remember.
I'd like to watch.
I'd
like to watch that again, actually.
Ooh, larger than life. Budget 30 million. Box office 8.3 million.
Oh,
That's not great, is it? Howard Franklin directed it, though.
I love his work.
He's a good. Here's one for you. Here's one for you.
Okay.
Here's a good one that I like, and it's a bit of a. Not many people watch this one. Man Who Knew Too Little.
I've seen it. I don't remember too much about it.
Right. So basically, he goes to see his brother in England, and he's having a big party with some clients. He don't want Bill Murray to spoil it, and it's his birthday though, Bill Murray's birthday. So he gives him as a present to keep him out all night this murder mystery event where they're supposed to come in and like reenact a kidnapping and all this stuff, but it actually happens for real to Bill Murray, and he thinks it's all a game, so he's kind of like blasé and going along with it all, and it's actually happening for real. It's really good, actually. I like it, and the good thing about it, Bill Murray seems cheery all the way through the film. If you watch it, you're like, oh, he's enjoying making this. It's like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good one. Like, look at his face on posters, loving it.
Howard Franklin wrote the screenplay for Name of the Rose, Webby. I don't know if you ever saw that. That was a great film.
Is that the one with Christian Slater as a monk?
Mm-hmm.
You've got we've come up with the last few now. Mad Dog and Glory. Have you seen that?
Nope.
I've seen it once, but again, yeah.
I have a weird thing about it's a political one, isn't it? It's about
it's gangsters, isn't it? He's a
like
mob boss.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something else.
You're thinking of the
Mad Dog and oh god, I can't remember.
I know what you're thinking of. It's
oh my lord!
It's De Niro and Dustin Hoffman, the one you're thinking of. I can't remember.
Mad Dog and Glory cost 19 million, took 10,688,490.
Wow. Okay, here we go. Another one. Meatballs.
Ah, great film. Loved Meatballs when I was younger. Brilliant film.
One of them.
I have no idea what this fucking film's about.
Have you not seen it?
I don't even know.
Bill Murray's a camp counselor, basically. It's got some alright stuff in it. There's a famous scene of him,
a bit like Wet Hot American Summer type thing.
Yeah. Them teen camp movies. Ernest Goes to Camp and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a really good speech in it where he tells the kids nothing matters, basically. He does this big speech about it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. It gets them all chanting it, gets them all riled up. And he went on Saturday Night Live, went back on it to host once, and all the cast were failing, and he did a reenactment of that bit. It was, he was the only person who'd go back when Lorne Michaels went off for 2 years, basically.
Oh, really? That cost 1.6 million, took 70 million in the box office.
And Ivan Reitman, first film, I think he directed with him, and then they did.
Does this predate
Stripes?
Oh, right, okay.
That's right. Yeah,
you can tell by his hairline. Look on the poster.
Yeah, he's got slightly more hair on that, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Camp counselor. Yeah.
It's just brushed forwards. But that's 1979 Meatballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Really good film.
So is that must be your first film, is it?
Bill Murray's.
Yeah, it might be.
Because Saturday Night Live was 1976. I think he started on it. Not sure. I'll have to check on that.
I'm not going to bother because I've realised by trying to watch Stripes, the moment's gone, man. This is why, again, I'm not going to watch Highlander. The moment's gone. It's not It's not going to suddenly unage itself, is it?
No. We got a few more. You ready? Monuments Men. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. That was a good film.
Yeah, it was all right. What else we got?
What about the gang of American soldiers that try to save all the Nazi, all the Nazis, all the artwork from the Nazis,
all Hitler's
paintings. I just finished this Man with Cat. I call it the Man with the Cat.
His first film was in 1976. It was Next Stop Greenwich Village.
Yeah, but you always find there's a few odd, like...
was that a short film?
TV movies?
No, it wasn't a comedy drama film written and directed by Paul Mazursky.
Police Academy.
Winters, yeah. Lenny Baker, Shelley Winters, Ellen Green, Loris Smith.
Ellen Green.
And Christopher Walken as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hey!
It's not short. It's 111 minutes long. Released in '76. It's called Next Stop Greenwich Village. I have heard of it. And it doesn't have a budget, but it took $1.06 million.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's when that was a fucking lot of money for a.
Yeah.
I bet that's an hard one to find.
I'd imagine so. Yeah.
What's it next up? Greenwich Village. I'll have a little look for you.
1976.
We've got Rushmore. You seen that?
Rushmore's a great film. It's a great
so you
film.
do like Wes Anderson?
Oh, is that Wes Anderson? I didn't realise that. Oh,
Yeah.
Rushmore's a great. It doesn't feel like a Wes Anderson film though.
If watch it again, and I guarantee you, it does.
Really?
It really does. Really does.
We've already spoke about the next one a bit, but let's do it again. Scrooge,
But just
brilliant.
for the record, Rich, Rushmore was the first time Bill Murray decided to work with Wes Anderson, and there's a really cute story about how they got involved. If you want, have a Google.
Okay, cool.
We've hardly got any left for the ones I've got images for. We've got St. Vincent. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad. I thought it was all right.
Melissa McCarthy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen that. It's a little oddball one.
Yeah, one bad.
Indie one.
And then Tootsie.
Yes.
Where Dustin Hoffman fought for him to be in this film. They didn't want him in it. Yeah, and he went.
I don't remember him in this film.
He's his roommate. Yeah. He's hardly in it, but it's good.
Village. Found that.
So that's it. That's the Bill Murray. Unless there's any other ones that we've not covered.
Well,
just going back to that point about Bill Murray making films that nobody's seen, like Next Stop Greenwich Village, 1976. Yeah, did you know John Candy did a lot as well before Saturday Night Live and before he broke famous? He did a lot of TV weird movies. I'm sure. I wanted to watch John Candy.
We should do a John Candy retrospective.
Well, there's one called Going Berserk with Ernie Hudson's in it, actually.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
But there's one about him as there's one with him in a little part. I think you mentioned this to me the other day, Webb.
I think I did. I think I've just remembered what it's. I just remember to tell you about it, but I've obviously told you already.
You told me. I can't remember what it's called.
It's nice. It is nice, kind of chatting about people like Bill Murray. I just think it's a sort of. I don't know. It's the sort of person that I would love to meet, but he'd probably hate my guts.
It's interesting because I reckon he'd either hate you or love you.
Yeah,
I think it's like that's the gamble. I bet when you meet him, you'd be like.
But then there's all the stories about him just turning up at a student house party in Edinburgh and doing the washing up and drinking vodka with all these Swedish students and getting on brilliantly with them all. You know, it's. I think it all has to be very much on Murray's terms. To be honest, I get that. Because I love doing lots of things when I feel like doing them. So I get it. I totally get that.
I think that actually is a very good point. It works best when he's doing something he wants to do, and if he's forced to do something for example, the Ghostbusters.
He didn't want to do it for ages, and he struggled until he realised how well it was going, and then suddenly he just pulled his finger out.
Even the Ghostbusters 2016, I think he was contractually obliged to be in that one of the reboot one.
I think he made some sort of bad deal.
I think all of them had to do it. I think it was something to do with Sony Pictures.
Oh wow!
Rich, sorry, Lumb, can I just ask you, right? So I just wanted to Google. It was the clown murders I was thinking of. Really early John Candy thing. But I've just noticed that I think he was in 2 films where he played the same character. One in 1975 called "It Seemed Like a Good Idea at the Time," where he plays a guy called Kopek, and then later on there's another film called "Find the Lady" in 1976, where he plays Kopek. I just wondered if you knew. Have you seen any of these? You know what
I think I've seen them, but a long time ago. I can't really remember.
Are they Canadian or something?
He's Canadian, but he did SCTV, Second City TV in Canada. So
I'm just wondering if any of these films were funded by the Canadian film.
There will have been them ones,
yeah. Interesting. I mean, they'll be really hard to find them, but.
Gentlemen, we are going to have to wrap up for the evening because it's getting chilly outside. But Webby, was there anything that you wanted to share? There was something that you thought when I was going to wrap up earlier that you wanted to say.
There was. I wanted to tell you guys, Lummy, I'm fucking 99% sure you'll have seen this, but yesterday I stumbled on a documentary called Bright Lights, about Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds living together in Hollywood in their later years, and it literally goes up to like 2 weeks before they both fucking died.
Oh wow!
And I've seen it. The last
it's really good.
Oh, it's really good, really sad.
Wait, how soon after each other did they die?
Literally,
her mother died the day after Carrie Fisher died.
Oh shit! No, of course she did. Sorry, yes,
Day after.
No, I did knew that.
They were really close, man. But what's really sad about this documentary is this: Debbie Reynolds was a fucking legend. A legend. She was in movies galore. She was in Singing in the Rain. She had really bad luck with men. So Eddie Fisher, Carrie Fisher's dad, fucking left her for Elizabeth Taylor. But anyway, they end up living in the same place called the compound that Carrie Fisher bought. And it's like a little bunch of little houses in Hollywood, all right next to each other in this little compound. And Debbie Reynolds could not drop the pretense of being a starlet. It was like a disease. Right up until the final moments. And it literally shows you Carrie Fisher assisting her, walking her onto stage to pick up a SAG award for the best, for a Lifetime Achievement Award. And at this point, Debbie Reynolds has become really, really unwell. I'm not sure if it's Alzheimer's, dementia, but her memory's gone. She doesn't know why she's really there, but she can't stop saying to Carrie Fisher, "Don't hold my hand. I don't want you to look like you're holding me up. I don't want you to look like you know what I mean." And she gets to do the speech to pick up this award, and she's still got that Hollywood starlet thing going on, but she's not. She's gone. She's gone, man. And Carrie Fisher's in fucking floods of tears. But it was really interesting. Carrie Fisher, what I love about her, I'm obsessed with her, not because the reason for most people are because of Princess Leia. It's not because of that. It's because of her fucking mind. I'm fascinated by the way this woman's mind works. She is just incapable of going along with the Hollywood hush-hush bullshit. She was the one who broke the news about Harrison Ford and the affair. He never admitted to it. She just said, yeah, it happened.
It's interesting you mentioned it. I was literally watching some clips today. Somebody put a load of clips where she were owning people, basically, in interviews that were really funny. But you're right. She never went along with the Hollywood thing, and that's why they were always like wary of having her in stuff in it. You know, I bet they didn't want her in them last Star Wars films, but they had to because.
The thing is, Debbie Reynolds was really famous for having an amazing singing voice. But Debbie Reynolds and her dad, who was a world famous singer, Eddie Fisher, a fucking singer, they put her off singing. She's got an absolutely beautiful singing voice as Carrie Fisher.
There's that footage, isn't there, of her singing when she was a kid, when she dragged her on stage. Yeah.
She's fucking amazing.
What's the name of this documentary, Webby?
It's called Bright Lights.
And where did you find it?
Fascinating. I found it on... I can't remember. I think it might be on Amazon Prime. I can't remember.
Okay, cool. So, folks,
check it out.
Fancy watching Bright Lights, go for that. Lummy, what's going on with you this week? Is there anything that you want to share with people? I've got Box Office Radio tomorrow night.
I've got my thing here. You ready?
Go on.
Boom.
Look at that, Lummy. Music from the films of Steve Martin. Brilliant.
Steve Martin.
I feel that you've got an agenda with this box office show, mate. I don't know what it is. But I can't tell what it is. But this radio show of yours, it seems like you...
What? Just the themes.
Got it, mate. What are you going to do when you run out of your favourite comedians' movies?
Start again.
You have to do someone you hate.
I'm going to do... I don't just do comedians on there. I had Michelle Pfeiffer the week.
This week it's the farts of John Candy.
I'll just repeat them all.
What's going on prequel, sequel, requel this week? I mean, it's the last of your Edinburgh Fringe series.
Yeah, that was on tonight, so you can watch that on Channel Lumb if you want to. It was Uncle Buck this week.
Nice, good.
But yeah, so but the Box Office Radio, check that out tomorrow. There's loads of Steve Martin movies, obviously. So we got some classics. Three Amigos is in there. All three songs. All three.
Have you got the one that he sings in The Jerk? What's the one that he sings in The Jerk with the ukulele?
Well, this is the trouble. There were no soundtrack release for The Jerk, so you can only use stuff that's commercially available.
That's another film that Bill Murray was offered as well.
The Jerk.
What fucking film? What's the song, man? What's the song?
I don't know.
This is
Thermos. It's the Thermos song, isn't it? It's the Thermos thing. Is it that one? I'm picking out a thermos for you.
No, he's sitting around the campfire singing a love song to the lady.
When does he do the Thermos song then? Because that is him, isn't it? I'm picking out a thermos for you.
Well, gentlemen, as fascinating as this discussion is, maybe we just start the next show where we're all here with you guys just singing it. That's it. We'll just start the show with you guys between now and then. But next week, we will be having a retrospective look at the Batman games, and we will be doing the best and worst Jim Carrey segment. So join us next week for more geek news. And go on, Lumby, what do you want to say?
No, just
really?
I was listening to what you were saying.
Oh, okay, well, lovely.
Jim Carrey, what? Best and worst Jim Carrey?
Best and worst Jim Carrey and a Batman game retrospective. Boom, just drop that on you. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed the show, please go and share it around all your social medias. Please go and follow us on our YouTube pages. It's All Geek to Me, and over at Channel Lumb, where there's loads of other awesome comments. Go to Twitter. We are at It's All Geek Twit, and obviously you know where we are on Facebook. But please go and share the shit out of our content. If anybody you think is going to enjoy our show, send them our way. No, I don't really.
So you know me? No, not really. I'm not bothered. No.
Nah.
Neither am I, Spidey fans.
I'd just rather do it the genuine, organic way. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the show. Martin, thank you. As always, you are a fountain of knowledge that is always on hand to be able to correct us.
This show rests, mate.
Absolutely. Without you, there is no It's All Geek to Me. And thank you very much to the Cool Gang. Thank you for your comments as well. And thank you for thinking about your best and worst segments. But until... Yes...
First place, Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters was everybody's favourite. But until next week, my name's been Rich, that's been Lummy, and that's been Webby. And we're looking forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.